Hello and welcome to DCP Live, episode number 187. A week full of juicy content because there's things to talk about in Destiny, right?
There was
sure
a
is.
TWAB.
It's a spicy
There's a
day.
TWAB. There's the confirmation of Destiny 2 on the Xbox Series X and
That's
PlayStation
true.
5.
That's a big one right there. Maybe we should.
That is a big one.
Maybe we should just jump right into that because like the TWAB is gonna be a deep dive right there. So
yeah, the top line. You're right.
Right. So like,
Yep.
it's confirmed they have plans for it, and like my assumptions right off the bat is we're getting 60 FPS with a field of view slider on next gen
Hope
console.
so. That is what I want.
Yeah.
Let's saw this
60 FPS.
a topic.
60 FPS, I would say, is almost definite because I feel like that's the baseline that Xbox and PlayStation are shooting for in the next generation.
Uh-huh.
And to not provide that, I think would be a
disservice.
Okay. A field of view slider, I don't know. Like maybe they widen the field of view, but I don't know. I've never seen a console game with a slider.
Yeah.
No,
I agree with
it's
that
existed.
one.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, Borderlands has it.
Yeah.
Oh, you are
Okay.
right about that.
Oh yeah. There's a few games that have sliders. It's not common because with console, it's usually set up to where the developers are like, "This is how you view our game. Don't mess with it."
Well, and the performance. Right?
Yeah, performance
They're
too.
This was why would you go? This was the most they could even provide, and
Right.
nobody's going to want to go less, so they just couldn't provide more. Usually, is the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, if they set the field of view at like around 100, like on the slider for PC, like I'd be happy with that. I don't
That
need
would
a
be
slider
phenomenal.
as long as it's just like as wide as I like to play it on PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if
Like,
they
I
could
don't
make
really
a-
care about a slider as long as it's just wide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they could just up it to where it's they can provide this experience with 60 FPS, but we have to have it 100. You can't slide it. Then that's great. Fantastic. It's just
Yeah.
really close at the moment. It's super duper close where I get lost in lost sectors.
Claustrophobic, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I go to a
Lost in the
tunnel
lost
and I'm like,
sectors.
where am I? No idea.
Yeah, exactly.
True lost sectors.
That's a very real feeling right now. Also, guns just feel better too when you have a wider field of view because you technically have less recoil when you're shooting. You know.
Mhm.
So like
Yep.
that recoil control with the controller actually feels more consistent the wider the field of view, and also you feel like you're going faster too. You know. Like
Yeah.
have you seen
Yeah, it
those
feels
tests?
like a faster game.
Yeah, have you seen those tests where they show like 100 or 105, and then like they show console field of view, and it's the same exact run speed, but it looks like you're slowly moving.
It looks like you're stuck in mud.
Yeah, exactly on the.
What always messes me up when I switch between them, and I don't switch between them anymore, is I whiff melees constantly
Oh yeah.
because I think I'm closer than I really am.
Yeah,
And shotgun shots. I was like, I have to be under them for the shotgun to actually hit. I don't like this.
yeah. So that's big news. I mean, this is confirmation that they are in fact planning on support for at least the Xbox, right? And I mean, you would think
PS5 as well. They confirmed PS5
Oh, they did?
as well.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So
Yeah.
both of those are confirmed. And I don't know if it's like a day one on console launch support or just this fall support when they're going to drop a patch or something.
Yeah, I think though to be specific, right? Because is this the DMG post? Or they didn't say anything in the TWAB, or
No.
did they?
This
in the
was
TWAB.
a reply to Xbox via the
Yeah.
Bungie Twitter.
Yep.
Oh, they did that too. Because yeah, I saw Dylan DMG posted was very quick. Like everybody's asking, and it's coming to next gen platforms. So
Yeah.
and I was just wondering if they said the words, Destiny 2's expansion will be coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox One Series
Oh.
X.
Gotcha.
We know it is.
No, I feel like they just
said
kind
it
of
is,
said, yeah, they said it's coming. It's
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
supporting the
it's
the
next gen
semantics.
timeline
platforms.
is still up
So-
in the air. Like it might not be a launch title. I would assume it's going to be a launch title because I think they'd be dumb not to be a launch title.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you'll see, right? And this was the big news too, right? They literally said for the first time too, the expansion, the confirmed. We don't have to speculate.
Yes.
Like we've been saying, we don't think we'll get a full-blown sequel for a year or two from now or whatever that is. And they said, yeah, Destiny 2 expansion coming later this year and to next-gen platforms. So that'll right? It'll probably come out about October 1st. And then you could think about a month and a half later, it'll come out on, we're going to assume mid-November, right, for PlayStation 5. And
so you're saying
I wonder if they'll
Series
have to
X.
buy a new copy or if it'll be one of those like those
smart delivery.
Yeah, like my current copy transfers over to the Xbox Series X, which I feel like Xbox is pushing for, and I'd like to see Bungie comply with because it's a free-to-play game basically now anyway.
Right? You want your
I bet it
license to follow you, whatever platform you choose.
Yeah. Also, I'm really wondering how they're going to handle crossplay. Because
Yes.
if I move over to an Xbox Series X, do I abandon my Xbox friends? If I move over to a PS5, do I abandon my PS4 friends? Like, how's that going to work?
So if there's a field of view and frame rate disparity, I feel like they have to split those right there because it's a big difference when you're dealing with those type of frames. But if they have 60 FPS wider field of view, then there's the potential that this is pure speculation, but maybe the PS5 and the Xbox crossplay possibility starts becoming a reality, and maybe even PC, and maybe open it up to Stadia as well.
I feel like that's a bad decision if they do not enable crossplay between the not the 360, but the PS4 and PS5 and the Xbox One and Series X. Like, I understand that there's a disparity in frame rate and possibly, we don't even know, but possibly field of view. Like, I mean, suck it up because it's better to play with your friends no matter what the settings are than it is to just like abandon your friends because I want, 60 FPS.
Well, Disco Potato in chat said that Sony last year said that PS5 and PS4 will have crossplay across some games or all the games. I don't know. It says same games. So same games?
Great.
So if they've said that, then
I feel like that's a developer thing. Like the developer has to specifically say, yeah, we're going to support.
Definitely could be.
Right.
I feel like a bad move not to enable that. I understand there's going to be like a outcry from the people left behind on the PS4 that feel like they're getting cheated. Like they're getting beat up on by people who have superior machines. But I feel like ultimately it's the best decision for everybody to allow everybody to play together, no matter if you've upgraded or not.
So, I mean, that was the same thing with Taken King. And, right, they had two populations.
360.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a different time, a different place.
I think we had the same discussions back then about how they needed how's this gonna work, and
Yeah,
it's funny because I think the only technical issue is PvP for the most part, right? Obviously going into raids, it's gonna be harder, playing with somebody who's at 30 frames and you're out there at 60 or 120 or whatever. But a lot of games have been doing the whole choose to matchmake if you want crossplay on.
Crossplay. Yeah. I think that's the best solution in the short term.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It'd be the smart thing that let's assume they just limit it to PlayStation and Xbox, that they're still not playing nice. At least let us play with the previous gen and turn that option on or off would be nice. But my gut, for whatever reason, I don't know, even though have any justification, I feel like it's just not going to be there. I feel like that it is going to be
You think
only,
it's going to be
the next
segregated?
gen. Yeah, that it'll be next gen. Maybe we get PC crossplay.
Wow, guys!
Maybe.
I just found out that Fran supports segregation.
What? People are gonna clip that stuff. You can't.
DCP 187, the episode where we 187 one of the members of the podcast.
I just got 187 by Briar. Wow. Jeez. That's it.
Wow. I did not know, Fran, that you had these kind of
I'm saying I think that's what's gonna happen. But anyway, I kind of wonder if that'll be the big announcement is, maybe it's
Crossplay?
You can do crossplay, but it's between PS5, Xbox Series X, and
that
PC.
That's what I'm leaning to as well. Like I feel like they've already dropped hints of this. Of like, okay, first there's
they're working on it.
Yeah, there's cross-platform where you can your account is now whatever platform you want to play it on. And they've talked about how they'd like to do more, but they're not sure and they don't know if they can announce anything yet or whatever. There's stuff coming in the future, which sounded like it was going to be a year or two away. So I think it'd be a lot easier for them to drop old hardware and then let the new hardware, which seems to be more similar to each other from PC to the next gen consoles, be able to play with each other. Because it sounds like the previous gen just has computational issues, being able to add more to whatever's going on.
Yeah, you got to wonder.
That could be.
I know nothing about networking, and I just kind of wonder, is there something there too? They've got so much on their plates, and that's something I've been bringing up too, is when do they drop the previous gen? I can't imagine them doing it this year, but it'll be so many SKUs though.
It'd probably just be like Rise of Iron, where it was a whole year of support and then they dropped that.
Yeah,
I would imagine
this will be.
They've got to support the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One for a year or two. But if I'm Sony, if I'm Sony or if I'm Microsoft, like I will pay you, Bungie, to make crossplay a thing because I want people to feel like I'm at a disadvantage if I don't buy the new console. I am heavily invested into you. I will pay you upwards of $5 to develop crossplay.
You want the edge, is what you're saying, Briar.
Briar's bargain.
Yeah, I mean, like if you know you're at a disadvantage because you don't have the newest PS5, is that gonna? I don't know. Is that going to entice you to buy the PS5, or is that going to make you angry at the whole system?
I think if you even care about that stuff, it's probably going to make you more pissed off than anything. Like if you're already aware of that, you're ultimately going to walk away being like, those assholes, man.
Yeah. I was just really thinking about this whole thing rolling out. How cool. I'm going to assume smart delivery's there. We'll see if Sony comes to it. And again, for those who haven't been following Xbox. Yeah, it means if they support it, you buy the Xbox One version in, let's say, October 1st. New expansion might come out. That's not announced, just guessing. And then you get to like play and level all that up, not have to worry. And you're like, yo, I just got my Xbox Series X in the mail, and I just booted it up, and like I own it already, and I don't have to even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Fran, I got a question
supports
about
the crossplay.
Fran, I got a question about that system on Xbox that I'm not sure. Like, I haven't been able to find an answer, and maybe you know. Is if I buy a physical copy of an Xbox One game, does that qualify for this, or do I have to buy it digitally?
I haven't seen it in writing, but I don't see why it wouldn't.
Okay, so I could buy a physical copy of an Xbox One game and put it into my Xbox Series X, and it would
backwards compatibility.
Would it be So would it be backwards compatible, or would I download the newest version of the game?
Right. Yeah, sorry, I see what you're saying. Are they going to send you a new disc? No, I don't. Yeah, you're right.
They're not going to send me a new disc.
I haven't looked.
But are they going to
download?
Am I going to download the newest version of the game for the Xbox Series X because I put in Xbox One disc?
That's a really great question. Yeah, I have no idea.
It's a good question. I would think that it would be an actual key. Like it would treat the physical copy as like this is your key that activates the copy, so you can play it. And if you don't have that physical disc, it doesn't work.
Yeah, you know what I've seen too. Yeah, because there'd be cost behind digital or physical copies, so I wouldn't blame them for not wanting to get into that game. But yeah, like I've seen people give you there's like there's a key included, or you just sign up, you register your game somehow, and it gives you an email thing that you just do that. So let's hope that's how it works. Mm-hmm. Did you see the whole EA time limited Madden smart delivery? Let's hope that doesn't happen.
What's going on?
So
it spilled the tea.
Yeah, explain it.
Yeah, hopefully I get this right. But if you buy Madden 21 on Xbox One through the end of this year, you have until March 31st of 2021 to claim it. So anytime between the next gen version of it on Xbox Series X.
There's basically a time limit.
Yeah, that's right, Watts. Isn't that the odd thing?
So if you buy it this year, you then have it for the current gen. You have until the end of March of next year to get a free copy for next gen on your account.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me think that what Tefty was saying is that the physical version is going to act like a key, so you can download the Series X version.
Yeah,
because that's kind of how that would work, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I think so. I think just whatever registration system or detection that you already
and then in March they shut that key down. Like that no longer gets you the new version.
Well, that's what they're doing though for EA. And I was saying, like, I don't understand. I mean, I do, but I'm like, what's the play? Some people were saying it's EA Access, maybe just guessing. But like the next Madden NFL 22 won't come out till what, July or August of the following year. So they're literally not giving you that time.
Which Madden includes the pandemic roster? Is it 2020 or 2021?
Oh God,
right? Dude, what does Madden 2021 look like? It's just you buy the game, you bring it home, you throw it in your Xbox, and it's just nothing. It's Netflix. It's
Netflix.
It's a link
it's
to
paper.
Netflix.
It's paper football. You know, like the.
Yeah. Right.
What if for football going forward, it's just players playing their character in Madden in an online tournament against each other?
It's their actual
This is a side quest topic that I shouldn't bring up now, but did you guys see the Madden commercial in the middle of the Xbox press thing they had today?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could not figure out when they were showing modern footage. Like, I mean, obviously you could see the 8-bit and 16-bit footage, like, because that was clear.
Yes.
But then they kind of like were showing the Madden games like through the ages.
Yeah.
And at some point I was like, I don't know when they started showing the modern game, because they like from about 5 games ago, they all look the same.
They all look the same. Yeah.
And I'm not a Madden guy, so
They just
maybe I'm just
fair.
ignorant.
Right?
Madden
looks,
they look. It is a very good looking, realistic looking game overall. I think there's a lot to get, but you're right. I had the same feeling too. I'm like, it's kind of looked like this the last several years. It looks great. You know, kind of just hit a point. In other words, they didn't highlight the whatever's being upgraded graphically. Like, I don't know.
Ray tracing.
It's hard to tell. Yeah, there should be ray tracing in there.
I remember at the launch of the Dreamcast seeing commercials for NFL 2K, thinking I can't tell the difference between this and a real football game. So it's been 20 years since then.
Dude. Yeah. The thing that really trips me out, and I very rarely would watch like football, but like going into a bar and seeing something on, and I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, is that Madden? Because of the like camera moves they started doing and developing, like these crazy like pans and tricks that they're doing to get very smooth, like, you know, flying across wires. But it looked like the stuff they did in Madden. I'm like, are they playing Madden? No, I guess that's the real games. That's just where we're at.
I caught my dad watching an NBA stream.
Porno?
NBA porno. I caught him watching an NBA stream on Facebook, and I looked closely and I was like, that's NBA 2K. You realize you're watching a game. He was like, no, this is the game. I was like, no. That's a video game being streamed on Facebook right now.
No way.
Those Dreamcast games were so convincing.
I was like, maybe we should just let you watch it. It's fine.
Just let him watch it. He'll talk to his friends about the big victory of these two teams that didn't even play that day. It'll be hilarious.
It's hilarious.
I just ordered a SD card like reader for my Dreamcast. Like that Dreamcast, man. It was amazing. It was amazing.
It was good.
So good.
2K games were great.
But maybe back to the point at hand was, maybe we don't know, but I was like, I really hope Destiny doesn't fall into this. I hope it's not a thing for smart delivery. Like, well, you don't have until the next version of Destiny to buy, to own this version. You only have so much time, in other words, to buy the Xbox One copy and then get your Xbox Series X before that chance expires to have to buy it again. I just think I don't think there's a way to market that to people in a way that feels like this is a good deal. Like, wait, I get it, but not forever.
We're kind of assuming this console is going to cost like $500, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a small purchase. Like that's not even like.
So, but to highlight something though, like they're talking about Madden though, right? Was this to other games too? Or specifically?
No. We only heard it from Madden, so I just brought it up because it was interesting. I don't think it'll be.
Madden has a built-in purchase base that automatically buys every year's Madden for the roster. Like
they're all crazy.
It's It always is the number one game whenever that month is, like August or September. It's like, oh, of course, Madden's number one because it has a huge built-in audience that automatically buys the latest version every time. So
yeah, they want the new rosters.
They want the new rosters, exactly. Which is going to be weird with the whole pandemic stuff. But so on one end, yeah, that's strange, that marketing. But on the other end, I'm kind of like, well, they were going to buy the next year's copy anyways and whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Still, if EA by coming out and saying this, like other developers, like, damn, that's a good idea.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't think the reaction was any good.
No. Well, I mean, EA has definitely perpetuated some trends in the gaming industry that haven't been popular with gamers, but have definitely caught on with developers.
True.
True. Surprise mechanics. They're all about them. Surprise, you have until March.
Yeah.
Surprise! You have to spend $100 to play this game.
Yeah. I have to imagine. Yeah, it's an interesting situation because like there's so many people who moved to PC. I'm just thinking about the frame rate stuff still, you know, and so many people moved to PC and we're like, wow, like I can't go back. What have I been waiting for? So I was just because I feel like so many people are waiting for this moment, but it's still 500 hours and look at the state of things. So like I think there's gonna be a lot of people.
I will buy both of these consoles on launch. Like whenever the pre-orders go up, I will pre-order.
Oh, I am
to make sure I get
the PlayStation.
And
I'm gonna be a console gamer. No hackers in my video games.
Yeah, I'm with that. Watts. That's a great point. And you know, to be honest with you, if they do have crossplay between PS4 and PS5, does that put the PS5 community at the risk of hackers? I guess not.
If they crossplay,
not really.
With the PC,
it puts them if they crossplay between PC. Yeah, no, never mind.
There needs to be the option to say I would like to or not want to play with
Opting
PC
crossplay. I think is a fantastic idea. It's something that Call of Duty has been doing for a couple of years, and I think it's a really good way to do it.
Yeah, and in Destiny it would be perfect. Like PvE activities, yeah, crossplay. PvP,
yeah,
nah, I'm not feeling that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exciting. You know, it's funny, Taps, going back to what you first said. At first, I was like, I don't know, yeah, why do we need the FOV slider and all? But I'm totally sold on that now. It makes sense. Why wouldn't it be there now that you sort of...
At this point, like, these are decent PCs that they're marketing. These are basically high-end PCs that the specs are looking at to be in these consoles. There's no reason to not have some of these options in there.
Yeah.
For people. Like, if they do need to try to squeeze some better performance because a particular game is pushing 4K textures at a rate that is making it struggle a little bit to maintain, like, say, 120, and they want to narrow the field of view to try to get a little bit better performance, cool, why not? Give them the option.
Yeah. I mean, there's a real opportunity, or there's a real chance that games that come out in the first couple of years on the Series X and the PS5 could look better than they do on PC. Yeah. Like, if they incorporate ray tracing and stuff like that,
and optimization,
you know, right off the bat, yeah, you know, it happens often when a new console is released. It didn't really happen with the PS4 and Xbox One, but they were kind of weak right off the gate.
Yeah, they were already limping.
I'm excited.
I am too, Watts. I'm really excited.
I'm excited for next gen consoles.
I'm more excited for this next upcoming gen than I was for the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's like legit hardware in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's been a big leap since then and now as well. It's been huge. A lot has changed. A lot of the standards of gaming and graphics and features has changed drastically.
Yeah. Before it was like, we're talking about a teraflop. And people are like, what's a teraflop? Now it's like 12 teraflops.
Out on the table.
And I'm like, what's a teraflop? That's a lot of teraflops.
Yeah, it's a huge increase. Like the amount of data throughput that's possible in these new consoles is going to be huge.
Yeah. I was gonna say that is the nice part about consoles. Like I'm sure there's a lot of PC fans like us that are like, "Whoa, PCs are way better. They have so much power. You can make them whatever you want." But a lot of people don't have that. They don't have the patience for all that. And with consoles, they really are usually highly optimized. You know, launch year can be a little dicier, where it was like, well, we made it out, especially with the what's going on in the world. It
Gun
was tough or whatever.
But says hi.
What?
Gun for the Xbox 360 says hi.
Oh, Gun, yeah. You're talking about gun. I was like, what?
That's a oldie but a goodie.
That was a launch, wasn't it? But But anyway, the point is, putting those caveats aside, yeah, normally they optimize for that first because console versions sell so much. So you usually, that's what I was telling people too. I was like, that ray tracing is in consoles is exciting because we should end up with a more optimized experience now across the board for PC. Where today I feel like if I want to turn on ray tracing, I'm like, I don't really know if it's going to work well or not.
And the other
Are
big
you going to
thing,
do a ton of development to enable this feature for like 1/100th of the people who are going to play this game?
Yeah,
probably not. But are you going to do it for like a third of the people who play this game? Probably.
And on top of that, the fact that these consoles are going to have high-speed SSDs baked into the hardware, which allows them to structure the content in a way that it hasn't been seen before. Because again, they've been doing this stuff so they can release it on console and it can be optimized on the current gen consoles, and then PCs can take advantage of some of these extra stuff.
No ships in Destiny 3.
Yeah, you
don't need them.
You transmat immediately.
You know,
tower,
orbit, you mean?
Destination, tower, destination, boom.
You bring up an interesting point on that. I mean, yeah. What's the need to go to orbit when they can just load it in so much faster? You don't really need it. That'll be
and that is why we can now earn ships in game and not at Eververse.
Right.
There won't be a need for them.
So yeah, very exciting stuff. I'm really I can't wait for them to actually start breaking out some details for what's going to happen this fall. Obviously, we have the next season to look forward to, which should be interesting at the very least.
Yeah,
should be interesting.
About a month away.
Did you see Luke Smith respond to Gathalion? Like Luke Smith talking some smack, like short but sweet, I would say.
Wait, what did he say to Gathalion?
He said, "You're going to be blown away." By
you are not prepared. It's funny. I was going to bring it up too.
Yeah,
that was Paul Tassi, I think. Wasn't he?
No.
No, it was
Gathalion.
and Luke. Yeah.
And then Paul wrote it up his whole story. That's right.
Paul wrote an entire article about it. Yes.
Which about one tweet. Nice.
I was literally.
I still tell my dad I was featured in Forbes magazine.
you basically were. But that did get me excited. I think you're starting to see between the TWAB and that, like Luke's getting excited to share the new vision and progress, and we're all out here kind of mad about some Guardian games, and we're kind of mad about
bounties.
And that's what I read between the lines of that and the TWAB is they're like, I can't wait to just show you this. Like my guess is, we talked about it on the last show too, is like maybe it's within this month, maybe it's next month. We're probably on the verge of we've got a season 11 teaser, I'm sure, that will come out, but the expansion now is on the tip of their tongue. And they're clearly excited.
Yeah, usually
you are not prepared.
Usually Luke Smith doesn't start talking on Twitter until big stuff in Destiny is about to
until it's like kind of locked in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like they're already working on the next stuff. So now he's beginning that what can I start sprinkling into the community via Twitter and all that? It's exciting.
What did you guys think "you are not prepared" referred to the most? If we're gonna really take those words and extrapolate, is it about the story?
That's not many words there, Fran.
Is it? But in other words, do we think it?
How many
can
bounties
we create our DCP
adding?
article about this one sentence?
Yeah,
that's.
But is it about the story progress and what happens in the story, or is it about the game features?
New subclasses.
I think it could be either one of those two things.
All of it.
I think it's both.
You think new subclass? You've read all the rumors. I don't want to talk directly about the rumors or the leaks or whatever they happen to be. But do you believe them? Like, are you kind of on board with them? Because if you're thinking new subclasses, that goes into
I don't think I've seen anything from the leaks or rumors that I necessarily believe. I just think that we're at that point where Destiny needs like a big shakeup. And I think subclasses and a new element is a huge way to do that.
It is,
because that changes the whole. It changes PvE, changes PvP, changes your armor, changes your weapons, changes everything.
Yeah, it's a great starting point for sunsetting old stuff, because your new stuff you want to be compatible with the new subclass.
Right. Yeah. This goes a little bit into the TWAB. The TWAB hinted at year 4, 5, and potentially 6 of Destiny 2, because they're talking about yearly refreshes of stuff like armor, and just they're talking about the quality of life and how things are going to look on a yearly basis, which definitely signals that Destiny 2 is going to be around for at least 2 years minimum, right? Like what it
I would
signals.
agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but hold on. So with Luke Smith talking about this stuff and the whole rumors stuff and all that, before all this, I was thinking, I can't really see them like dramatically shaking up vanilla content that's happened in Destiny 2. Like I was like, it's just so many man hours to really break up that type of content in the game. But now that I know that they're for sure going at least another couple years, and Luke Smith talking about big things, and I'm actually warming up to the idea that they could really shake up what's inside Destiny 2 right now, to the point of planets getting just basically taken out of the game. Like that's just not available anymore. And potentially maybe getting really like aggressive with sunsetting, you know?
That is a tricky topic, man.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Like, if you start taking away, the stuff you have to give has to be like twofold what you took away.
Right.
Otherwise, you're never going to hear the end about what you took away.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start sunsetting weapons, which we know they're doing, and you just replace them with the same weapons, but now it's 1500 power or 1500 light, but you're still trying to get a midnight coup, fuck you. That's bullshit.
Yeah. That's my biggest concern when they say something like, oh, well, year 6, possibly year 7, because the whiteboard said year 7 on that. It's like, I don't want to be chasing the same 150 kinetic hand cannon. I think that's boring, personally. And I think that the system needs a dramatic shakeup. Like when they went from D1 to D2, they shook things up, and a lot of it was not in the right direction, but at least they shook it up, and it was technically,
at least it was different.
Yeah, it was different, and it was a departure from the current engine and sandbox and whatever the ecosystem of Destiny is. Like, I want that feel, and if they're not going to do it with a new title of D3, then maybe it's possible they could do it in D2. And you're absolutely right. They're going to piss some people off with certain things.
Sunsetting weapons is the way to make that change. But if they fuck it up and they just replace the weapons with the same exact weapons, but now you got to re-earn them, that's just going to piss me off. Like, I can't speak for the entire community, but that's just going to piss me off. If they sunset 150 RPM hand cannons as a whole, and now there's 3 different whatever though. Like if there's they sunset all the hand cannons, all the archetypes of hand cannons, and now there's 3 different archetypes of hand cannons that are whatever, 230, 180, and 90. I don't know. Now there's this whole new subset of weapons to figure out and to learn how to use and to get good at. But if they just replace the old 150s with new 150s with different perks, and I got to re-earn a worse weapon than I already had, that's not going to feel good. That's not going to feel good.
For me, it depends on the perks. Depends on what they do with perks. If they continue down the path of creating interesting things like the War Mind cells, and of course that I wouldn't expect them to make that a perk, but they've introduced some really fun and interesting perks that get overlooked because everyone's just like, more damage, faster reload, more damage, faster reload. And I think that if they keep going down the road of making more interesting perks that are more interactive, that you can make builds around, that you can really think about, then I will be happy with that. Take away my Midnight Coup that reloads fast and does more damage, because these perks are way more interesting.
So
to me, that's not enough, because it's going to feel like I'm using the same gun. It's just not as good as my Midnight Coup.
Well, they have to figure out a different system.
For me, it would be better.
They have to figure out just a system that goes deeper into the RPG side of things. They have to, if you are rocking six-shot golden gun, they have to start building RPG mechanics that build towards that subclass that include everything from your weapons to your armor and each piece of armor, and not just you're exotic. That's it. It all has to start tying in together if you're going to move away from just pure damage and reload. So you actually create interesting multi-dimensional builds in the game.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. It's probably the trick of it is to move into, maybe they still allow you to use your Midnight Coup, right? But they now have a new class of weapons in year 4 that have a new RPG slot, just to keep it simple. And I do think that's probably the direction. It's but in this slot, I can get this mod that on the 4th shot turns my bullets into light or whatever. And you're like, oh, those are amazing. And those bullets have more precision, whatever it is that you start feeling like, oh, I want to play with all this stuff. Kind of like we saw with gear, right? We all, and I still have held on to a ton with like grenade launcher reserves and enhanced, sniper. But it was mostly a fear. And I even remember that they were kind of talking in a way that they're like, you might want to, for the raid, when it first came out and switched over to the new gear sets, you might want to use some of that stuff. But actually, everybody switched really fast, and I think we'll see weapons do that. And maybe that'll solve that problem, Briars. There'll be new weapons. Maybe they let you use some of that, but it becomes irrelevant. So it's not, they don't take it away from you. It just becomes relevant. And that's sometimes the solution.
One of the things that pissed me off the most in Destiny was very early on when what was the Crota DLC called?
Dark Below.
The Dark Below, where you had earned all your exotic weapons, and you found out that your old exotics were just being straight up replaced by new exotics. They're the same exact gun, but you had to fill out all the orbs to You remember that? Like it was a very specific moment. They never did it again exactly like that because the reaction was really bad, but you were not gaining anything, but you had to do a ton of work to get back to what you had. And that's what I fear most about sunsetting. I do support sunsetting weapons. I think it's a necessary thing in Destiny 2, but I'm really, it's less about losing weapons as it is about what I get in return. If I get just the same thing, but I got to work for it, that's not going to feel worthwhile.
Right.
Yeah, that's again why I think the solution is we need to move on to a new season of, like Tef said, the new RPG gear. It's like you can use last season, but it only comes with these mods and these things. But look at this new shiny thing on all this. You should just play with that, and eventually it's sort of, not that I want to make everything irrelevant in a negative way. That's not what I'm saying, right? Like I do think there's room to bring some of that stuff forward, but it feels to me like that's the way to do it. It's like, oh, we are moving this gear forward. And again, we saw some of this with the last time. So I just think there's too much stuff right now in the game. Like so much stuff sitting around. And like you're saying,
there is.
I think there's too many
we
problem
need to be able
childs.
to delete it without fear.
Exactly.
Like there needs to be a time where you can just delete your year one gear and not be afraid that it's going to come and use it.
Yeah. There's too many issues that have been held over from the sandbox, and like things like Wormhusk, and not that that's an issue, but like that could be one of those things that hold back from innovation down the road from new exotics. And Teus Swords, it's like, come on, it's a problem.
Keep
right?
moving
Just
Do
straight
you
up.
think that exotics are going to get sunsetted? Because I have just assumed that they're
Right.
not.
I'm pretty sure they confirmed
They're going to
that
be exempt.
Right. So this is the problem with them sticking with the Destiny 2 and not moving on to a new iteration of the game, is that all of that is going to remain in effect.
They're just going to have to do a massive exotic reworking that makes it into the sandbox the new sandbox that they're creating.
I go through the possibilities in my mind, and I feel like there's just always going to be these solutions that piss people off dramatically unless they were to do a clean wipe.
The Destiny community is angry at literally everyone, literally all the time. And
Totally.
Even if we were like,
really?
yeah, we have to do a hard refresh. We'd be like, oh, so you telling me that the recluse that I earned, I can't take into Destiny 3 and use that? People are always mad about everything.
Yeah. This is basically confirming that this version of Destiny is going to go on for at least another 2, possibly 3 years, and maybe longer because of the way they're talking about it. And when I see that, I go, cool, there's going to be a lot of expansions for Destiny 2, but is that sandbox going to become really boring after a while? Unless they really shake it up.
Not if they sunset hard and fast and deep and give us interesting perks and kick everyone else's.
If they're not going to sunset exotics, though.
It's not about the sunsetting. It's about what they replace it with. If what they replace it with is interesting, that's great. If it's the same old shit, I'm like, I don't know. Like I just don't want.
The only way that we can get to an interesting sandbox is if we sunset stuff.
Yeah.
So, it's the only.
Yeah, I would agree. Ultimately, I think sunsetting is a good idea, but it's about what they bring out.
Yeah, it's because you don't know what they're going to bring out that's new, but I would hope that it's like with these new perks or whatever, and it's really cool. And yeah, I'm with Watts on that. I'm like, you can sunset like almost everything. That's how I feel almost. It's like, as long as, like you said, I can chase this big bevy of stuff, I'm like, this is pretty cool. And that we're not left feeling like, man, I really miss my 1,000 voices. Like nothing hits like that or is as fun. And we've run into that in these years of Destiny 2, where we're like, yeah, but it's a new exotic, but I'm not going to use it. It doesn't feel as cool to use as, like that. Wait, that was exactly the problem with Whisper of the Worm, where it was like, as soon as they nerfed that, we all felt like, but this other stuff's not fun.
Whisper of the Worm was a bag of worms because it was a Destiny 1 weapon that they already knew they had to nerf. And then they brought it out in like we got to nerf this state. It was like such a bizarre move.
What happened though is it was the first time that you got a heavy weapon that could reliably keep on giving you that DPS that you needed to do difficult content, because you were still stuck with 2 primaries when you got Whisper of the Worm, right? So it was the first time that they were expanding the sandbox, and it was like, finally, I feel like power from D1 is coming back. And then they completely...
Literally.
Yeah. And then they reshaped the whole weapon system, and they're like, okay, this is a problem now. We have to get rid of this.
We got to get to this.
Let's talk TWAB.
Because
there's hardly anything in there, dude.
If I were to make a personal wish list of what I wanted Bungie to say in a TWAB, I think it would read just like this.
Most of the questions I got after this TWAB is, I wonder how Briar's going to feel about the TWAB.
I'm gonna read this one pretty much, and just jump in when you want. Okay, so they're talking about Destiny 2 Year 4. This week's update is going to look at some of the changes coming to Destiny 2's rewards. Rewards for your character come from a variety of places. Playlists where you find random folks to play with, aspirational activities like raids, trials, and dungeons, where you form a fire team, and even Eververse, where you sling some silver or bright dust back at us for items you want. However, in Destiny 2, the balance of the game's rewards is not where we want it to be. To be blunt, there isn't enough pursuit in the world. We're going to fix it.
All right.
Are you?
I like to hear.
So, vanity and accessories, ships, ghosts, and sparrow changes. We will be adding a transmog feature to Destiny 2.
Legit transmog. Not just you get some ornaments here and there and you throw them on your armor. Legit. I saw a lot of people asking what transmog is.
It's worth
basically you take an armor set that you like the look of and you put it on the armor set that is optimal stats wise for you. You can look however you want with whatever stats you want on whatever armor you want. You're going to be able to do that in Destiny.
It's like if you just like, we don't know. Do we know if it'll apply to exotics too? Did they say that yet? But either way,
guess not.
Because they're so unique. You want to know
their visual cues when you're going against someone.
Yeah. But just to be able to be like, I really like this armor set, and just infuse some good stats. I mean, it's not far from putting some of the ornaments that we have available today on stuff, but it's a little more direct.
Well, the ornament system technically was like a
fuse these two things.
Beginning of that, right?
Well, this is still going to be an ornament system.
Right, but it's going to be open to everything now, as opposed to if you have this particular armor, you have access to these sets of ornaments. Like now it's all the ornaments.
Yeah, but you got to turn something into it.
Yeah, there's armor sets that I really like that aren't ornaments; they're actual armor sets, and obviously they have trash rolls. I wanna be able to use them. Now we're gonna be able to, and I'm sure it's gonna cost stuff because it does in every game.
Yeah, right. And it does. That was the big thing. It says we plan to allow you to do this with in-game effort, or you can buy it with silver.
So
I really hope this in-game effort.
That's a huge question mark.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to kill 1 million thrall, or $5,
or pay $1.
Yeah, like this for me was important to stick on transmog, because masterworking. I cannot like run into this masterworking situation all over again. I'm like, I don't want to grind out. It's just not worth it. And what if I do want a ton of masterworked armor though. I do want it, but I'm like, there's no way it's worth the time. And I don't want to run into that situation here. So I really hope that they're more gracious with it. Maybe is a better way to put it. in other words, do we think it'll be fun to grind for Transmog, or like, can I just, do it and it's a currency? Where do you guys land on that? Do you want it to be difficult? Because I don't think it should be difficult.
No, I don't. I want it to be something that, like, maybe if I don't play too often, like, I got to actually, like, put some work into. But if I play a ton, then those materials are just available. Like, I do not want it to be Masterwork cores where, like, I'm constantly waiting for my Masterwork cores.
Yeah, precious materials would be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And when it comes to transmog, it's not affecting your power, so it shouldn't actually take up things that affect your power. It should be the standard stuff, like a stack of glimmer, maybe some planetary materials, maybe a couple legendary shards, whatever.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really hope that it's not just trying to deplete our reserves, but then we run into that situation where we're like, well, great, now I'm out of this, and I just I can't fix my legs on this set without doing like whatever 12 strikes and blah blah. And I'm like,
we're paying $6.
Piles up.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So that being said, because there is a financial component to it, it's probably going to be more so. Like maybe it's a time investment.
That's what worried me.
Like maybe
it might be the time investment.
Yeah, maybe it's like if you want to apply this, you have to do these things, like this many lost sectors to unlock it.
I hate having to have this conversation about a video game that I love, because like I do not want like a gameplay decision being made based on how do we profit from this the most. And this is exactly that, isn't it? It's like, all right, so we've got to make a financial decision. We got to make a gameplay decision based off of, we want to charge silver for this, but we also want to make it earnable in game. So how do we maximize our profit and also make it earnable in game? Well, we do that by making it hard to earn in game, right?
I don't think they're going to make it impossible to earn. I don't think it's going to be something where it's like, you need to put in 20 hours to be able to transmog your one piece of armor. But
just a conversation about it, though.
It's like, well, at what point do we call the line of like, okay, Bungie, are you allowed to make money? Because like they're taking a bunch of stuff out of Eververse. What are they filling in for the Eververse? They're allowing people to skip something to transmog their gear by playing silver. Like there has to be some type of line that is drawn where it's like, you know what? Okay, at least I can earn this in game. I can play. I can get the stuff that I want. Or if you don't have time and you really want it, you could pay silver for it.
Got it.
That's
all
how
you got
it
to
is
do.
in like so many games.
Reset your infamy, you get a transmog token. 5 resets, you got a full set.
Transmog tokens.
Briar, that's Gambit.
Infamy is the Gambit one.
Yeah. I saw your eyes. You're like, what is infamy? And I was like, Drifter, Gambit.
Here it comes. All right. They did,
Of everything in this TWAB, this is the thing I'm least excited about, but it's also the thing I care least about. Is like how my Guardian looks compared to how powerful he is less important to me.
Yeah, it's worth noting too. They very clearly say, look, it's early in development. It's expected sometime in year 4, so we don't know when that is, but it certainly doesn't sound like it's coming at launch. And again, I'm just saying.
Oh, they said year 4, right?
Yeah,
sometime in year 4.
I also fully hear your point of view here, Watts. Is that yes? Bungie has to make money making this game, otherwise they're not going to keep making this game.
Yep.
Somehow they have to have a revenue stream.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's this, I don't know, man. Like,
to be fair, they are selling expansions. All right, and also finishers are a great way for me to spend some money, because a hot looking finisher, I think, is totally fine.
Good,
Pay some cash for that.
If it's fair and fun, and you can speed up your time and buy it with silver, I'm okay with that. But fair and fun, transmog, tokens per hour, whatever it is, it's got. I hope it's
a new Fran metric.
No. Well, I like transmog tokens, Tev.
Franomics
the alliteration.
Is
But
coming back.
but right, I'm with you, Briar. Which is, I hope that it begins with, is it fair and fun to just get this stuff? Like, does it add to the game? Because if it's a grind, just be like, well, we're going to introduce this, so why don't we use up some of your currency? Like, that's never for me. It's never worked for me, with the amount of hours I play. And I think that's important too for people who only play one character. We're running into those troubles too, where they balance it for like 3, people who play all 3 characters. I'm like, I'm never going to masterwork
like
stuff.
Bright Dust.
Yeah.
Which they address actually later. Each season will deliver an aspirational pursuit for armor. We haven't done this consistently in Destiny 2. The armor will come from activities, not the season pass, nor Eververse. As an example, we removed the Eververse armor from Season 11 and itemized it into an aspirational activity because this is the right thing to do for the game.
Yes, it is.
True.
Guardians,
Yes,
rise up.
Clapping, sir.
Guardians out.
Eververse out. That's great to see. It's I'm just glad how much it leans into, and I really wanted to applaud Luke for saying, what he did in the beginning was like, to be blunt, there is not enough pursuit out in the world. And how many months has it's been? Years, really. We've been saying this, and they obviously have wanted to address it, and here we are. Finally, we're on the cusp of like this, which by the way starts in June. Is this one? This is not year 4, right? So season 11 is around the corner. And they actually got rid of that Eververse armor and said, you're going to have to go get that in activity this time. All right, put your money where your mouth is. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
It's great. As we've always said, there's so much in Eververse that is awesome that they create. And by them putting so much time into making that, there's only so much time that you can do with creating new stuff. So the fact that they're like, all right, we'll take this, we'll put this into the world, you can earn it. We're going to have so much more to earn each season now than what we currently have.
It'd be a lot more interesting to do activities and finally.
And
get
I'll be
that
more
ghost to drop.
excited to earn that new seasonal ornament. I'll be way more excited and love wearing it more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way better than getting out of a season pass level up too. Like.
Not exciting.
Yeah.
I like that the season pass just kind of gives you stuff for you playing, but I want to earn stuff in game through the game, through the activity.
Glimmer, exotic engrams, fire team boosts, packages of materials and all that. Those are great for the season pass. But the actual guns and stuff, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Like especially when you get into the new season and you realize what's been added to the game and it's less than what's been added to Eververse. Like that in particular feels shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So them actually taking shit out of Eververse to add to the game feels like a step in the right direction.
Huge. Yep.
Like a big one.
Big. Yep.
Yeah. Just being able to target that loot, because that's the stuff we want. And to your point, it's like, I don't necessarily want to do 100 levels just to get that, but I would do some Nightfalls, or I would do whatever the activity is, hopefully. In fact, I would do the Warmind stuff, to get this stuff, or whatever it is, a new activity, instead of having to just grind everything to get up to level 100 or whatever. So,
I'd be way more interested in the bunkers right now if I could actually get stuff out of Eververse that was there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We are improving the rewards for aspirational activities, raids, trials, and dungeons. Going forward, aspirational activities will reward players with power items and vanity. When we build an aspirational activity, it will have at least one accessory to pursue. The team is working on adept weapons for Trials of Osiris. Trials will get new armor, aka not a reprisal, accessories, and weapons in Season 13. Trials will get new armor every year, and Destiny's next raid will have brand new armor, weapons, and exotic accessories to pursue. Exotic accessories, I'm guessing, means ghosts, sparrows. What else? Is that it?
Didn't they say no spoilers on what accessories are?
He said in general.
What are accessories?
Earrings, Brian.
Do we have to have a spoiler to know what an accessory is? I mean, it's definitely like
tattoos.
Maybe there's additional cosmetic things that you add to your weapons.
A butt tattoo.
Ships, ghosts, and like that kind of stuff. Even emblems.
Weapon trinkets. That's all the rage these days in video games.
Dude, I would love weapon trinkets in this.
I actually would love
if you actually earned them. Again, like when it comes to Eververse, it's a big old letdown. But when you can actually get additional things that are like, oh, that's cool that I got that.
Are you guys trying to tell me they're going to introduce a brand new accessory just so that they can protect Eververse? Is that what you're saying to me right now?
No, it's
they said
you're saying they won't do ships. Are you saying they won't do ships and ghosts and stuff like that because they want to keep that in Eververse and they're going to have a new accessory?
No, we're We're thinking.
All right.
I feel like we're all on this. I think it's funny because I'm looking at Watson and Teft, and I think we're all thinking the same thing, which is like, Briar, you might be on something. Maybe there's a new accessory. But we're totally with you. All the old accessories were come forward, right? I was thinking about a new accessory. Was that what you guys were thinking about?
I was thinking about a new thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Briar,
I was thinking about accessory being a new thing because Ghost Ship Sparrows is already a thing that they don't need to, that they've already specifically called out. So when I heard accessories, I was like, oh, maybe it's like a new thing.
They capitalized it. They capitalized it. And I think I didn't read it that way. And once you sort of started saying it, I was like, oh, actually, weapon trinkets, like all the above.
Yeah, and they also said no spoilers too. So I'm assuming there's a new accessory thing that's coming that they're going to show off.
I'm reading accessories as ghost ships and that sort of thing.
Then why would they say no spoilers?
Because they don't want to say what it is.
About the raid? Were they saying no spoilers about what the raid is?
I read it the way you did the first time, Briar. I just sort of, there's so much info in here. I was like, oh yeah, of course, no spoilers. And then when Watts and Tef pointed out, I guess I was like, oh, that's capitalized. Exotic accessories to pursue. It's new. I'm with that.
We have exotic accessories.
They've never
called
we have
it exotic ships. We have
they've never called it accessories before.
Yeah, they've never called it that.
And it might just be that maybe that's what they call it internally, and that he's just kind of written it, and it's now confusing everyone, and we're looking into it too much. But they don't normally call it accessories, right?
And they pinned it on the next raid. It seems very specific, like that there's going to be something from the raid that's a new accessory that's exotic that you'll learn. I'm with that. It's like
I want to be able to attach something to my gun that I can actually see when I'm running around, and somebody be like, "What's that on your dire promise?" And be like, "That's the accessory. Don't worry about it."
It's
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I earned this pink dildo by defeating Callus.
He definitely has a
I
stock.
earned it.
That's something to discuss, though, the trial stuff. So we're getting new armor, not armor that's brought back, and adept weapons and new weapons and accessories. And that's coming in season 13, which would be the fall release, right?
No,
December.
No, it'd be like December.
Yeah. But it's normally mid-December is when, or early to mid-December.
December, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they've confirmed that there will be new armor once a year.
Yeah.
So how do you guys feel about that? New armor once a year. For me, I think their decision, I can only guess, but my guess would be that the decision would be, do we want to bring in one new armor piece and one new weapon like every season? Or do we want to do like a big refresh every year for trials? I feel like that might have been the decision that they had to make. And they decided that it was more exciting to have this big refresh once a year.
I felt like it was more related to the fact they're trying to get these specific new sets into multiple aspirational activities. There's just one, and that their resources are spread out. So it's like, all right, it's going to be one for trials. It's going to be, we'll make sure to get this one for the raids.
Vanguard.
Like there's probably just spread thin, and they're like, let's look at it too. Like I assume the trials player population is nowhere near people just doing, raids and or not raids necessarily, but dungeons and nightfalls and stuff. So it's probably in part that too.
But it's brand new armor that we're getting.
Yeah, not a reprisal. It's not
surprised.
It's not Destiny 1 armor.
Yeah, I'm
not
also
a surprisal.
Yeah.
As far as
I appreciate that they're being upfront about it and saying, hey, this is going to be once a year that you're going to get these armor resets, as opposed to there's a refresh coming, and then you're like, is it again next season? You just don't know. Like, it's great that they're upfront about this. A lot of transparency.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with a lot of stuff in Destiny in terms of like getting when we get refreshes, if I know when it's happening, because then I can look forward to it and be like, oh well, in September we're gonna have this big refresh of everything, and knowing that is a thing instead of just speculating about that being a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they talked about that.
They were only specific though about new armor every year, right? And they didn't say how often we'll get new weapons and accessories. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I can't figure it out.
Because this is Eververse stuff.
New armor, accessories, and weapons in season 13. Oh yeah, you're right. Trials.
Right, maybe December but then they're like, trials will get new armor every year. They like pointed that out. Yeah. But not the others.
We want new accessories and weapons too every year.
But the focus on this was like Eververse and cosmetics and all that.
True enough. True enough.
I'm excited the depth's coming, but they got to fix trials. They got to fix hacking. They got to get out Antaeus wards. I'm sorry. I don't know if we're all in agreement.
Nothing's wrong.
They gotta go.
They're perfectly fine. Just let it be. Said all you Titan mains.
I mean, they won the Guardian games. Maybe that's the reward. They get to keep them.
Yeah, they're permanently in the game. Everybody gets them built in.
Maybe.
Passives. Their passive abilities now.
No.
Beginning in Season 12, we will no longer be selling ships, ghost shells, sparrows, or armor ornaments in Eververse. They are visually based on themes from aspirational activities.
No
We are
kidding.
not planning on changing existing items, as this time we could be spending on itemizing the future.
That's
See,
fine with me.
And this is another point that I really appreciate that they're pointing out. They're like, hey, we know that this stuff is still in there in Eververse, but we need to focus on the future. And just so you know, that's why it's not changing right now. But the future stuff is changing. And it's great that they acknowledge that, hey, there's too much stuff that looks like aspirational content that's just in Eververse, right?
Yeah, what was the best example of this that first pissed us off? It was
Oh my God.
ornament.
There's so many.
There was so many. There was the
Yeah,
Iron Banner.
one
The
was
Iron
a big
Banner
one.
emote was the first thing that was really a big kick in the ass, because we had the Callus emote that came from the Callus raid. So we
right.
were like,
Sitting on the
clearly
throne.
we get these themed emotes from the activity. And then like right after they launched the Iron Banner emote in Eververse, that was
you can roll it all the way back to Whisper of the Worm. As soon as you got Whisper, you go to
True.
Eververse. There was 2 ornaments available for money, and it was like, damn, those look really good. They were like the best looking ones. You're like, well, this doesn't happen too often.
I think the worst one for me was the Saint 14 ship,
Yep.
where I was like, or like a ship that looks like it's from the raid or the dungeon, or even Ikora's ship, or any of those where I'm like, I should be able to do a mission with Saint or with Ikora to get their ship, and there should be a whole story behind that. And
Exactly. Yeah. And then the most recent offender, though, that really pissed me off was seeing all of the Trials of Osiris stuff, the weapon ornaments for guns that weren't even Trials related.
Yeah,
You know, Outbreak Perfected had like a Trials. I was like, the crap? Why?
Yeah.
imagine
It
if you
made no
could earn
sense.
all those things from going flawless, or just a random drop as you're playing.
Or each week
know?
it had that potential ornament to drop for going flawless.
Yep. Yeah.
The
and that,
population
that's
would be
why
up.
I'm just, we've been talking about this one forever too. And it's like, they finally hit that point, that I feel like if you were looking at that table of contents of all the stuff in the Eververse, and they're literally like, they're pushing it all the other side. Now they get to choose where we put in all this stuff, because there's a lot in there. Like, it's crazy to think actually how much is in there. Stuff that is really cool that, well, we'll never get unless you pay for it at this point, it seems.
Yeah.
Maybe someday in the future. But new stuff we now can go earn, and I could not be more excited, and we always talk about what I'm just playing the Crucible, and I don't know if it's going to be a random drop or a quest, but like, oh, I got it.
Yeah,
where,
and those great stories from playing the game, right? You're like, oh, I got that drop.
Yep. To this day, I play with Universal Wave Function, the Cursive not Cursive Osiris. Was that was the DLC?
Curse of Osiris, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because it's such a we don't. This is the one that shall not be named.
We don't talk about that DLC.
But I got that from Nightfall, and it was because I was grinding out back then, getting all the exclusive Nightfall drops, and I never had spent that much time in Nightfalls. I was finally optimizing my runs, doing like 20 in a row, and I had so much fun because it was for that reward. But to this day, I'll have that ship, and people are like, "Where's that ship from?" And there's too much of that where it's like, well, I mean, it's the Eververse. People just start to assume it.
I know. I mean, you get the question all the time, right? It's like, where's that ship from? It's like, the Eververse. There's never anything that I respond to now where it's like, I got this armor from here. Even with what I'm wearing, people are like, oh, what's this armor set from? I'm like, oh, it's Season 3 Eververse armor.
Yeah.
There's very few things that I'm like, oh, well, I had to do this activity and this mission to get this thing. And
last week during the Twitter questions, we got the question, like, when did you fall in love with Destiny? And I didn't answer this way, but one of those things was definitely wearing the Chatterway armor in the tower for the first time. Like, feeling real pride in an accomplishment and being able to show it off, and like having people just like randomly texting me on PS4, hey, where'd you get that armor?
What's up with that look, bruh? I want it.
Yeah. How'd you
that
get
is
that?
mighty white of you.
Yeah, same for me when I got full Wrath of the Machine, hard mode shader, the glowy red. Oh my God. And I was like, I got it. I think it was the first or second week. It was so hard to get back then. And I had 3 Warlocks that I was running. So that finally paid off. And I just got
that
lucky.
one.
I was one
Did
of the
that
few
one
that had
start to glow once you completed the set?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So cool. It looked so cool in the raid.
Yeah, in D2 right now, the majority of the cosmetics I have absolutely no interest in at this point because the majority come from Eververse, and anytime
I don't even bother to look to find out.
Like I've for the past year and a half, I've lost interest in like having the right ghost shell and all that. I'm just like, whatever. The only sparrow I care about is Scooty Puff. That's it. I'm like, that's my sparrow.
Is that the little?
I don't know what it is, but I love the name.
Race?
Yeah, it's the little wave racer.
Yeah. I was gonna say there's too much like focus right now on like, oh, you can go and grind for rolls, which there's certainly those opportunities, but like that's like the one thing we can grind for. Where is all this other stuff? And so that is so exciting to think. Some people don't want to like grind for the perfect roll and then be super mad about when they don't get it after hundreds of runs. I love grinding for rolls. It's great, but I'm saying sometimes you just want to go grind for that ship and have a chance to get it. And like, you know, they did that for a little bit in the Nightfalls, and then the Eververse has just been too full on. So this is super exciting.
Yeah, good changes coming.
Dustin Ingram's moving on to. We are making it easier for you to earn Bright Dust. We'll be moving away from the.
Did you skip core playlist reward changes on purpose?
Did I skip it? Where is it?
It's the one right above Dustin Ingram's. That's the one we were on, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Core playlist rewards changes, strikes, Gambit, and Crucible. Did you guys already go over this?
No, we didn't move forward, huh?
Okay. We are adding a new set of armor for the core playlist, strikes, Gambit, and Crucible. The armor shares a set of new geometry with decals and shaders specific to the activity. We will create new sets like this each year, year 4, 5, 6, etc. This will arrive alongside the next expansion. It's the first time they mentioned the next expansion?
The word. It's the first time I've seen it.
Starting in Season 12, we are adding a new pursuit weapon each season. This weapon can be earned by playing your preferred core playlist. This weapon will have an activity-based legendary skin that can be unlocked in each playlist. We will no longer be selling new legendary weapon ornaments in Eververse.
Hell yeah.
That is so good. Because if you've seen the legendary ornaments, they are great. And if I could earn all of those like Gambit ornaments from playing Gambit, that is what I would like. I would love that. That would be fantastic. So seeing this is probably one of the more exciting things. If you're going to have this new armor set every year, you're going to be able to deck it out and stuff based on what you as a player like to play. And then you're going to be able to get this new pursuit weapon in any playlist that you want to play in, but you can deck it out in a skin based on what you really like to play.
Yeah.
I personally
it's nice to give you something to chase once you've gotten the stuff. You want to get that legendary, you want to acquire those legendary cosmetics if it's part of the game or the gameplay loop.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, they said we are adding a new pursuit weapon each season. And this can be earned by playing your preferred core playlist.
Yeah, I had a question about this too, Fran.
Yeah, are they saying there is a new pursuit weapon for strikes?
No.
One for each?
No.
There's a main seasonal
one.
Or a yearly, I guess, right? Weapon that they're adding. Did they say yearly or
season.
seasonal? Seasonal?
Each season.
Okay, each season adding a new weapon, and you can then choose which activity you want to play in order to earn it. So you don't have to focus specifically on PvP or Gambit or strikes.
So you can't get the best PvE weapon by playing 20 hours of PvP.
Yeah, exactly.
You can actually play PvE to get the PvE weapon.
You can play the content that you actually enjoy and don't feel like you have to be forced into
I love this.
being a punching bag in PvP.
Yeah, and then you can get the thing of like you get the Crucible legendary skin because you like Crucible and that's how you earn the gun and you can throw that on there.
I love that
I
too.
love that.
That's great.
Yeah, cool. It shows you can represent like what you're about in Destiny, right? By playing Destiny as opposed to going to the Eververse store and buying shit.
It's great.
It's a good way to look at it.
Much better.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's like you got this new pursuit weapon, but then you also have this like sick green, whatever skin on it. And they're like, where is that for? You're like, Gambit. You're like, oh, dang it. But that's really cool because if you're a Gambit player, you can you can show it off. I wanted to ask about this too because you dug into it so much. Teft was like, this is the line, I assume, right? Where they said, we will create new sets, armor sets like this in year 4, 5, year 6, etc. And you read that as what? There will be a Destiny 2 year 4, which is this coming year 5, and a year 6. You read that as confirmation?
Well, I read that as them saying this is the plan for Destiny 2 for years to come. And how many years, we don't know specifically, but they've already now opened. That's straight up information from Bungie saying it's possible that we're at least 3 years out from any new title, or never getting a new title. Maybe they drop the number and it becomes Destiny. Destiny.
I can see that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I guess I just wanted to dig into it for a sec. I didn't have a chance earlier. I see that and I was like, well, I don't know how to read into it. I'd love if they'd clarify, because part of me reads it like you do. I'm like, wait, there's going to be an expansion in all these coming years. But then another part of me is like, no, that was just sort of hyperbole of like, the years to come. And almost like you just said, next year might be a full on new big drop, but that's year 5 of whatever. It's still the world of Destiny 2. And maybe we're not getting, and that's my point that I want to make, was it might still be the world of Destiny 2 instead of a brand new Destiny 3, but it still could be a full-on
I see what you're
sequel.
saying.
You see what I'm saying? Like, when do we get a technical sequel?
Like a new
which
SKU,
is like,
but it follows these formats, and they're considering the continuation?
No, I'm just saying these are expansions. So when do we get a full SKU release? And that's the one that I've been saying I thought we might get in 2021, right? We always said, is it called Destiny 3? Well, now we know probably not. Is it just called Destiny something?
Here's the thing.
Don't know.
Here's the thing. I do not see in any way possible that they would maintain this schedule for Destiny 2 and do a new SKU. So it's either it's either they're maintaining this player base with this code base, or they're releasing a new SKU and getting everybody excited about a new edition of Destiny. And by the sounds of this, it looks like they have plans to maintain this for at least another 3 years or longer.
See, I know people
I'm not seeing this as saying we're committing to Destiny 2 for 3 years.
I don't know.
Could just be them showing an example.
Yeah.
You said people are...
I know people were upset about seeing this as like, oh man, well, I think we really need a Destiny 3. I think that's something we really, really need. I think that they still don't know what game they want to make. Or maybe they know what game they want to make now.
But how long will it take?
But they're not at that point where they know how to implement all of that stuff that they want the game to be. So I think, if they came out with a D3, I think next year or whatever, we'd probably be looking at the same problems that D2 early had, because they haven't been able to fully figure out how to make this game that they want to make, this, full MMORPG FPS game. They haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, I don't know is my point. It was wild to see it written like both next to each other. If there will be whatever we're doing now for maybe year 5, year 6, even if it's in parenthesis, but the word expansion too. And I'm like, wait, are we getting another expansion next year? And so I just want to say I'm an optimist, and I'm kind of still hoping we get more of a whatever. If it's year 5, cool, but it's a full release, a full reset. And I do get the sense based on what Luke said as well. You're not prepared. Yeah, I don't think we're prepared for all the crap they're probably going to blow up. And we're like, I hope, right? And it starts to become new in a way through that process.
Well, that's what makes me think that it's possible for them to do a rejuvenation of Destiny 2 inside Destiny 2. So maybe year 4 is like the feeling of Destiny 2 when it got released, because it's changing up a bunch of stuff.
What if they just kill off the 2? Like, what if they just erase it and like, this is Destiny? And you just you cut off that Destiny 2 thing, and like moving forward, when we get a big yearly expansion, like this is just Destiny, right? And like the yearly expansions are, maybe it's huge changes to the code base this year, maybe it's huge content drops, but like what's Destiny 3 really? It's like what are you looking forward to? It's just more content, right?
Yeah, I think as long as they blow up enough stuff. I feel like this year they're going to blow up a few things. I'm using the word blow up.
Specifically what?
I don't know
what are they going to blow up,
like planet, maybe.
Titan.
Uranus.
Maybe, exactly. Everybody thinks Titan's getting blown up, and then we get a new
blow
planet.
Up Uranus any day.
Dude, you set that up. He was just,
There are going to be 8 planets left after I'm done with Uranus.
Oh my God. So we think they're going to maybe blow up one planet and introduce a new one is the sort of rumor. And so in addition
Fran is
to
blushing, Briar.
Yeah,
you can't focus
I got
anymore.
got, dude. It was the conviction that he said it with, really, as well.
That's true.
Like
that's what happens when you mean it.
When it's from the heart.
Yeah.
Oof, man. Anyway, I think actually, and I'm optimistic that 2021 will they'll blow up like a lot more. This is kind of the taste of what's to come, But blowing up a planet and some weapons or whatever is a good start. But that it gives me a new thought of like what is the next Destiny, in other words, and it makes me feel better, in other words, about what is year 5 because I can't go through just the way that expansions and seasons have been going. So I hope the new year 4 sets that tone, that we're really going to make some bigger jumps each year.
Yeah, that's what
Forsaken almost did.
I was trying to make a point on Twitter talking about that with like how the game feels, and like I'll say things like the engine needs updating or whatever, but really what I'm talking about is I don't want the game to feel the same over the next 3 years. I want to feel like I'm playing an actual evolution of Destiny that feels fresh and new when I get an expansion, and not like, oh, another one of these 150 kinetic hand cannons. I've been through this so many times. Like I want the game to evolve, and I want the feeling of it to evolve, and I don't want to see the same error codes and the same networking matchmaking problems prevail over years. I want it to evolve. I want the loot to grow.
Yeah, and it's just about the content, right? It was just like Forsaken. We got a new, really cool new planet, all new lore, and we got new enemies, and we started to see some introduction to other stuff, but we need that every year at the least, Frankly, enemies are always number one for me. I'm like, every year I think we should get pretty big evolutions of enemies as well as maybe new enemies, whatever that means, but I get so tired of I love shooting at the enemies I'm shooting, but it's such, it's muscle memory for us. There's no discovery and practice when you go out and shoot Cabal and they throw their shield out. You're like, well, I know it's not. You don't even think about it anymore, and we really need.
That's true.
D2. We need the new enemies. Then with the new subclasses, they bring in this new element because they're from super out of space.
Super out of space.
Super out of space.
They're from deep Uranus, space. So far out.
They came from Uranus.
Space Uranus.
It's interesting. D2 actually it revitalized a lot of those characters because they changed up the way Cabals were, and like a lot of enemies were. Well, not a lot, but like there was enemies introduced and changed up the feel of the sandbox. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
The game felt different from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2.
Yes.
Yeah. At a minimum, we need that, honestly, in year 4. Like, we need something like, if that's what Watts was saying, like, subclass, I keep saying would be incredible, but I'll just take some new enemies even.
I'm not willing to get into a World of Warcraft situation where I just play the same game for 12 years. Like, I'm just not. I'm sorry. Like, that's not enough for me.
It's enough for Holtzman.
What MMOs are.
I'm joking. I don't know how he feels about it.
That's what they are.
Playing it right
Although
now.
they can release big updates that change a lot of how the game plays.
Yeah. Dustin Ingram, so we are making it easier for you to earn Bright Dust. We will be moving away from the character-specific ways to earn Bright Dust and more toward account-specific paths. This change is geared toward giving one character players significantly more Bright Dust than they earn today.
That's
I feel
great.
like I'm on Bright Dust welfare when I play the game.
I was just asking you guys, do you think they're just going to get rid of Bright Dust? Like, because it felt like I was never earning it. Like, are they just phasing it away? So you Eververse will only become a silver economy. But this is obviously a step in the other direction.
Briar, you had to do weekly Gambit bounties to maximize your dust intake on all 3 characters. Yikes.
We're updating the Bright Engram to be more relevant than it is today. The earned Bright Engram in the Season Pass will be updated to include various Year 3 Eververse items previously sold for Silver and Bright Dust. And going forward, the Bright Engram will update each season to include Eververse items from 3+ seasons prior. On behalf of us at Bungie, we hope you and yours are safe and well. Okay, they're talking. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the TWAB this week. And I got to say, man, like to me, this is the Eververse had gone where I was hoping it wouldn't go when they introduced Chroma in Destiny 1, right? When I started chirping about like, oh, we're going to be a pay to play game, and everybody said you're overreacting, and there's no reason. Well, I didn't overreact. It became a pay to play game. It wasn't pay to play, but it was huge emphasis on the Eververse store.
Pay for rewards.
And it was incredibly demoralizing for a lot of players. And this is a sign that Bungie is stepping away from that. And I am really enthusiastic about them doing this.
Yeah, it's a big pog, you know? It's PogChamp right there. It's good.
Big
yeah, I love hearing about stuff like this because it's huge changes that are setting the foundation of how the game is going to be. It's not just you're like, oh, we're bringing, you know, this game mode back next season and this armor's being added. It's like, no, we're having this is added every year. This is the change to Eververse. Rewards are going to be here now.
They're
it's
transparent
great.
about it. Like that's the big thing for me is they're actually talking about what to expect on these refreshes and the yearly stuff. Like that's great.
Yeah.
So I know.
Yeah.
You know?
Got a lot more clarity on the year to come.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I
would love that.
If I log in on it during the new season and I see that there's a bunch of cool shit that I can earn by playing the game, and there's new strike rewards, or there's new nightfall rewards, or there's new things I can earn by playing Crucible or by playing even Gambit, whatever, as opposed to just a brand new inventory for Eververse, and she's the only vendor in the whole tower that's got anything new.
And a lot of new stuff.
Not a lot of those Uranus ornaments that you're trying to get. 1.2, I'm really looking forward to. I feel good about this. Is that they'll probably make some changes of so you know where this stuff is at. We've seen some updates to the bounty and quest log stuff. And I'm hopeful that, we don't have to Google every time. I'm like, wait, what do I earn in here? So, I mean, to use the example, I'm all for secret rewards, but if I'm trying to get the universal wave function, hopefully it's a little clearer to see that. And I don't even mean deep in your rewards collections, like hovering over the main menu. Hopefully we'll see some of that. I just think that it's more enticing, that's all. To be like, well, what am I going to play? And you're like, oh, I haven't got this yet. In the same way when you see an engram, right? Maybe it's even mystery that you haven't earned a ship. Maybe you don't know what it is without Googling it. But you know what I mean? I really hope that progression's there too. Because new players as well as old players, we just need a little more guidance on this stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you, Fran. I feel because I've been playing less Destiny than I have in years past, when I do come to Destiny, and I'm like, okay, I want to, I heard about this gun that I really want to earn. I have no guidance to figure out in game how to earn it, because the quest to earn it is named Fenchurch plays with a seal today. How would I guess that is how I get this awesome new weapon? You'd never guess. And then the only way to find out is to Google how do I earn blah 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 weapon.
I mean, you were chasing Fenchurch's seal trinket for your gun. I thought you could figure that out.
Clearly.
It seems obvious.
Obviously, right?
Seal. But I do hope that's there. In other words, the game that's something else to contend with in year 4. It's pretty convoluted, especially for new players, and it's something I bring up a lot. But I want to see more players out there. Even me, when I log in, I want it to be a little more just clear on figuring out what I want to do next. Or having those options.
I've had a fair.
I'm okay with mysteries.
Yeah,
mysteries are okay, but everything doesn't need to be a mystery. Some things are okay, I have a quest on how to earn a sniper rifle that's really good, and it says this is the sniper rifle that you earn by doing this quest.
Yeah, it's right there in the menus. It's like Warzone. I've been playing a lot of that. Granted, that is a free to play game that leans into the store a lot, but it's cool. It's you go, and I know there's a lot of this stuff's been in Call of Duty for a long time. I don't play Call of Duty multiplayer enough to know, but for example, it's you go in, it's got all these camouflages you can earn in there under lock and key, and it's get 10 hip fire, get 12, and there's different variations, so much to earn just by doing basic stuff. But then there's a secret, achieve this gun level 24 to unlock whatever. I don't know what it is. You can probably look it up.
Bud.
Yeah, and it's such a good feeling, man. They do such a good job with leveling up your gear,
Yeah, I love that.
And yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot.
So anyway, I hope there's just a little more in-menu stuff to get excited about. And for the love of God, the shader system, I know we have a lot more that we could speculate on, but man, shaders, I hope, are finally just fixed, man. That's the year 4 I want. It's just, you know what? I have a shader.
system.
I'm just going to use it.
I want
It's
a
just
shader
there.
kiosk that has all my shaders that I press a button and I get painted by robots.
Ooh,
I like that idea.
Cutscene.
I wanted
Wash.
animation.
I want
It's
an
like a
anime.
Gundam.
Nah, Palicos come in, they stumble with a bucket of paint,
Yeah.
like splashes
That's
everywhere.
what I
and then
want.
Palico's
they're-
coming to Destiny 2 confirmed. Capcom is the new Destiny publisher.
I was like, is this a Monster Hunter thing? It isn't.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Let's do some Twitter questions because we're running out of time.
Let's do it.
And I know before everybody in the comment section says, "Oh, Breyer says they're running out of time." No, everybody said we need to stop by a certain time tonight, so I want to make sure Twitter questions get in there. So fuck you.
Yeah. So the way you run a podcast is you have a set amount of time and you respect the time on it. You know.
Soured Outlook says, "How do you think Destiny 2 on Xbox Series X will be optimized? 120 frames, 4K, or some kind of compromise?"
I'm gonna just shoot for 60 FPS because they said that is the standard that they want on the next gen Xbox now. 60 FPS, give us like 100 FOV, like you said, Briar. If anything more happens, fantastic.
4K.
4K.
Yeah.
I think
Given the hardware that they're showing, I think it's pretty reasonable to expect 60 FPS and 4K, right? Like it's reasonable.
Board, yeah.
Not necessarily native 4K. Like it could be
They might have to checkerboard it,
1440p upraised to
Sure,
4K.
2K. Yeah.
But why wouldn't be?
But there's no reason for them not to be able to hit 60 FPS with that hardware because most modern PCs that are built recently can do that on the hardware, right? So with the CPUs that they're talking about, so that's reasonable. When you get up to 120, it starts changing and it gets more complicated, especially with networking, because it seems like the networking is what causes a lot of those lag. Like you'll jump in the tower and suddenly your frames tank to 70 because there's like 16 people in front of you. And if they have to...
This is a good question, Tucky.
Yeah.
Like, is this a good opportunity to like upgrade the tick rate on the network code?
You know I would love that.
I know you would. But I mean, like, this seems like a good opportunity to do it if you're going to up the frame rate.
Isn't
the tick rate tied to the frame rate?
No. They apparently with PC they had to decouple that, and it maxes out at 40 tick rate, but can go really low depending on how many people are on Netflix on your network. So it's a variable tick rate, but your frames can be unlocked.
Yeah, that's a really good point about networking. But I was going to say I'm very hopeful that in the same way we saw like with PS4 Pro and Evolution of like, hey, if you want to play God of War at almost 60 frames, whatever, we have that option, and it's the only way I play. I do think with the television advancements and stuff, like 1080p, 120 frames should be an option. There's no reason that they couldn't figure out a medium setting that should support that.
That's what I would play at if it was an option between 1080, 120. Like assuming I had a TV or monitor to support it. But if I could hook up my Xbox Series X and play at 1080 120, I would definitely do that over 4K 60.
Oh yeah,
it's so much smoother.
Yeah,
what I'm saying. So I do
locked
hope
120. I don't even really get a locked 120 on PC, to be honest.
No.
With you.
Yeah.
So I doubt that, honestly.
I'm hoping it's on the list as a priority though, but I mean 60's a given. So at least that's awesome. That's such a huge advancement for a lot of players.
I think we're gonna be shocked if it's still 30. Be like,
oh my god, if it's still 30,
I was shocked.
Not
I was
okay.
shocked for Destiny
it would
2.
be impossible. There's no way.
There's no
we were
way.
at the Destiny event and we're like staring at the monitors like, this doesn't feel like 60.
We're like,
what the fuck?
I see a lot of pixels, but this is 30
ago.
FPS. Oh god! And then we walked over to the PC.
Then we
side.
walked into the PC and we're like, we're buying new PCs this summer apparently.
Yep.
Sparty for you says, assuming Destiny 2 gets at least 60 FPS on the new consoles, should PvP crossplay be allowed between old consoles and new? I would think everyone would agree that it is possible in PvE that it should happen.
I think we spent a lot of time on this, right? Earlier.
We did talk about
right
it.
at the beginning.
I'd say it's either they enable it for old gen or they make it crossplay with PS5 and Xbox and give the option for PC. And I know a lot of people are freaked out over PC, and the hacking is annoying. But if you're not going against hackers, like controllers can definitely compete on PC. 100%. I've been using a controller for a couple weeks now because my shoulder's still, I'm letting it slowly recover. And the controller.
You got a mouse-related injury?
A mouse-related injury, exactly. The controller, like, it competes. Trust me.
Dude, you're going to have a thumb injury next, though, dude. Just wait.
Yeah. Getting old sucks.
Thumb joints.
Getting old.
Richard Summers said, thoughts on the season so far and the current event. Would like to hear the team's thoughts on events in general. What would be a good event over the years? Or what have been good events over the years?
Well, I enjoyed the dawning baking cookies. Had a good time with that. First time we did that, that was pretty cool. I really liked the European Aerial Zone event.
Yeah,
that they
was
had
really
for
cool.
that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a whole new thing, right? It was like, here's this new area for you to jump around in. It's a lot different to what you would normally play because it's so vertical. So yeah, I think that was great because it was a new experience. You weren't just doing the same stuff over and over again in the same place, but now it's a different bounty instead of the bounty you did before. European Arizona was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, unpopular opinion, but I like Crimson Days. Like I had the first Crimson Days, I had like a teammate and we had a great time playing this like weird doubles game. I know it wasn't popular with the community, but I really enjoyed it.
SRL.
I think Guardian games have been a real success, and I wish every event was like the Guardian games. I love bounties.
How do we get rid of tech?
Oh yeah, I didn't say. I finally finished my Heir Apparent. I got it last night.
Did you?
Yes.
How many hours do you think it took?
Don't know. Don't care. Too much.
Don't care. Don't think about it.
Don't want to think about it because I'm
yours?
already salty about it. I got to shoot it a little bit. It was great, and I definitely don't plan on playing any more Guardian games. And yeah.
Markham says, no crossplay, please, or at least allow console users to switch it off so we don't have to be exposed to PC cheats. I think
that's fine.
The best answer here is opt in.
Yeah.
Opt in crossplay, I think, is the way to go.
Yep.
Blink 148 says, first of all, I'm sorry. Second, I deeply appreciate the answers from my question, though. I'm sorry. Most of this is just talking about how we answer this question. Have you ever played hide and seek at the tower or farm?
Yes.
With no HUD. Yeah, we've done that.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Josso Porden says, what would you say the odds are with the next gen release? Bungie offers an enhanced version of Destiny to use for consoles this holiday. I'd say it's 100%.
Wait, enhanced?
What's that mean?
How enhanced are we talking?
It's a 4K 60 version of Destiny for the new console.
Oh, but for the we're saying do we think it will be available this holiday season?
Oh yeah, I think it will.
Yes.
I think it'll be a launch game.
I hope it's a launch game.
If not launch, like a week or two after.
Yeah, I would hope it is a launch game, but if it's not, I could see it being in season 13. You know.
Yeah.
If you think what it means to be a launch game on a console in a polished launch game, like they would get an influx, a huge influx of new players because everybody who buys the new console is looking for the new software, and there's usually not a whole lot of titles available at launch. Mm-hmm. Destiny's got a game that can run at 4K 60 now. All it needs is to be ported over from the PC over to the new console.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You know, I can't wait to
actually
see
it's a beautiful
optimized for it. So, yeah, I mean, just think, like, let's just say it supports ray tracing on the console's default.
Oh my god,
pretty, very pretty.
Console gamer coming through. Bye bye.
Yeah. Adios, PC.
No hacking me, sir.
Go fuck yourself. Ringo the Dingo says, if COVID-19 hit the Destiny universe, what would all the Destiny NPCs do in quarantine? Solitaire? Masturbation?
Masturbation, yeah.
Space like everybody to right now pictures of Vala alone in a dark room.
Yeah, I was funny because I was going
to masturbating.
What? Good God.
We've been in his office.
So now he's definitely not coming on the podcast.
Eyes open.
Oh, he is
looking right at you.
Podcast.
Oh no.
Actually, I always bring up how there's that 7th column or whatever in Iron Banner, right, where Saladin's, they're almost like they're roommates, where he's like, die, sorry, Shax, do you have any water? And he goes into this like long thing, and I always pictured them, they were like roommates, but yeah, now I'm imagining Saladin and Shax like as roommates during this very difficult time, and it's just Shax like in his room, like late at night, and you're crushing it, yes, and you're like, oh god. You can't get Shax off of Pornhub, man. Oh.
Shax gets addicted to Pornhub?
I don't know. That's what I was trying to think. What would it be called in the Guardian universe? What would Pornhub be called?
Awoken something? It'd be like...
Awokens will definitely be the most popular genre.
Yeah.
Next to like Cursed Thrall or something weird.
Yeah.
I think people be
like, maximum tip-to-tip efficiency. The Awoken have it.
People be into like some Riven like multiple eye thing too.
Oh
yeah, like, all about the weird like multiple eyes and thousands of teeth or whatever. You know, like, I don't know why you're into it. But
falling with
like
the 4 arms.
That's probably already out there.
Hand jobs for
somebody typed Scorn in chat. Yeah, that's close. Scorn Hub. That's not
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. They said Scorn porn, but I'm like Scorn Hub.
Scorn Hub is great.
All right, we're gonna work on.
Johnny Ringo says, if Destiny 2 goes crossplay, would there be a noticeable advantage in PvP for mouse and keyboard PC players versus console users? Yeah.
Yeah, like
Mike says,
controllers are really set up to compete. They just are, like, straight up. I mean, there is battle sense, and a lot of keyboard and mouse players are really good at battle sense. So there is that, and there's certain things that are better. Like
controller users, though.
Yeah, exactly. Controller users can have that same battle sense. Yeah. A mouse and keyboard player can, in fact, do a 180 on a dime.
Yes.
So there is that. So you have to keep that type of stuff in mind. But aim assist is very powerful.
Look, to answer this question, go back on the DCP YouTube to the Bungie bounty and watch Watts murder everybody in every lobby that we entered.
There you go.
On a controller on PC.
If you listen to professional players, they all hate controllers. So clearly,
there you go.
Yes.
Everyone wants controllers banned from everything.
I got tagged in a tweet. I can't remember who it was. Somebody was railing on the Zim again, and somebody tagged me, and I was like. Mike says, do we know who's in second place? It's a point system for the ranking. Hunters won the first day, but have been in last every day since. Warlock lost the first day, but have been second every day since.
This is an interesting conversation because, because they were choosing the winner based on how many days you won, right? So are they also choosing second and third by how many days were won? Because if so, Hunters got second because Warlocks haven't won a day yet. It's not over. They could technically win a day and then we're screwed. But,
and also, fuck Warlocks, am I right?
But are they counting? Yeah, but maybe they're counting your win of placement on that day. So they've won second place on all those days. And
maybe
they are. Maybe they're not.
The other.
I don't know.
Maybe it only counts the number of first place finishes you got.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows?
I checked out of this. I checked out of this after like day 3. I was like, I just don't care.
And then I saw everyone switching to their Titans because they're like, it's easier.
The laurels are easy and this grind is boring, so get it done quick.
Wendigo Stark says, what rumors have you heard that you most hope are real for the next season or fall update?
Haven't really paid attention to many of them because I read the first part and I'm like, this sounds like a bunch of bull crap, and then I don't read the rest.
I also don't know how to answer this without like putting spoilers in the podcast, which we try very hard not to do.
Yeah, that stuff, unless there's been actual stuff from Bungie that's been confirmed, it's really hard to go spelunking through the backwaters of internet rumors of what's happening, you know?
Yeah, not to say some of it hasn't come true. We've seen
like huge
leaks come true, like the new Guardian classes that were leaked like a year before Destiny 3 came out.
Right.
And Bungie said directly to the community, this is not true. Was in fact true.
Yeah, well, I mean, a version was not true, but then a different version became true. What the actual items were and all that. It's like, as podcasters, we don't really want to dig into things that could be spoilers. Also, whether or not they become true or not, because like we're helping boost that signal of stuff that could just straight up be false.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
if we talk about it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Troglodyte Zero says, what things would you like to see changed or brought back from Destiny 1?
I feel like we've answered this before.
Yeah, I don't really want anything brought back from Destiny 1. I know there's
heavy ammo sense.
Huge contingent of players who says, you know, bring back the raids, bring back everything, you know, have Destiny 1 re-release. I played 3 years of Destiny 1. I don't need more.
Yeah, I was trying to think if they meant like systems or things from it, but
yeah, I'm with you, Tiff. The heavy ammo system. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
everyone gets this. That was my favorite thing in PvP was heavy ammo spawning. I'm gonna try and go to their side and just see what happens.
Oh, that too.
Oh yeah,
I actually.
I was gonna say, did you mean
what I said was heavy ammo synths? Being able to pop a synth, when you're out, because that was annoying. But yes, the PvP system of everybody having to go to the heavy ammo, that was great.
My ammo's coming up.
Fun.
Let's see what we can do.
Heavy ammo inbound.
Yeah.
Ang Bangarang says, how long do you think they'll keep updating Destiny on PS4 and Xbox One until they phase them out like the PS3 and 360?
I'm assuming 1 year.
I'm guessing 2 years.
You think 2? Really?
I think
that's my
last
guess.
Year. But I don't know. It really depends on how the new consoles get shipped and sold.
Well, if they're $500 each, I'm guessing pretty slow.
It's true. It's a different economic perspective right now in the world. How many is potentially going to be sold?
Yeah, right. Am I going to buy a $500 console when I haven't had a job in 8 months?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Meta Munch says, you guys are great and my all-time favorite podcast. Oh, thank you, Meta Munch.
Thank you.
What has been your favorite weapon for your entire Destiny career? Favorite?
Definitely Dreg's Promise.
That's a good one.
Definitely.
I think that might be mine too. That was a really fun weapon.
It was fun and it was good.
I always go back to Plan C. I just loved the way fusions felt then and the feeling of Plan C.
So good.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
The Plan C was shocking. Like people didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
You know, they'd run around you with a shotgun thinking they had you, and then.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's the suite of weapons from Rise of Iron. From the Raid. It's like If Materia. Yeah, Wrath of the Machine. If Materia was one of my faves. But all of them that when like you got the weapon frame, it was busted. And then you upgraded it and the geometry changed and you had like the SIVA parts like that put together through there. And it made the really cool sound when it procced the perk. You know, like if you with the sniper when you reloaded completely empty, it made the sound and gave you an extra. That was just I really like that. And so If Materia was really aggressive on that because you'd proc it all the time. Be like because you're doing the crits. Yeah. And also people would always give me crap about using If Materia and I was like, nah man, it's awesome. Screw you.
The lumpiest space pirate says, if the size of games becomes too big, like Bungie have mentioned, what would you remove? Planets, activities, campaigns, raids, tower dialogue that torments your every waking moment?
Not raids. Definitely not raids.
Hard to say. I wonder what takes up the most space, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't know.
I would think a planet would take up a lot of space.
Yeah, like is it the size of a planet and all the geometry related and
the textures?
That it, or is
dialogue.
it actually the amount of? Yeah, like is it guns and stuff? I have a harder time believing that. It does feel like it's probably just raw geometry of some planets.
Texture maps.
And yeah, I mean big raids like Leviathan's pretty big. But yeah, I like the idea of blowing up planets because But actually, if you blow up a planet, though, you're going to have to bring back a new one, though. So I don't know how they're downsizing. I feel like, now that we think about it, that's a good question. I don't feel like there's too many planets. I mean, I guess the truth is, too, you have like old, I don't want to put it this way, but there's nightfalls that we don't traverse as much that might kind of go the way of the dodo, right? Feels to me that's probably good at memory opportunity. So they're like, we're just not going to do that nightfall anymore. No one's playing it. But that sucks because I feel like you kind of want the option, but then the reality, it's one of those things where you're like, well, I want the option, but then you never play it. But I think they might have to look at that. But I don't know how to answer that question.
I don't know.
Yeah, what takes up the space?
Yeah, I don't know what takes up space.
Emotes? Yeah, shaders. I don't know. Give me, but you
emotes,
want stuff to
they
replace
lag a lot when you're moving around, so maybe they do take up a bunch of space.
4K cinematics. They take up space. Of course, I think everything's rendered in game, right?
That shouldn't be that much.
Those 30 FPS cinematics from
Actually, most of it is. There's a few pre-rendered ones, right?
Yeah.
But those wouldn't take up much space. It's got to be the raw geometry of the planets, but I don't know. I guess we're about to see, right? I mean, we're gonna see. They said they're trying to address it, right? So unless this is the year where we hit the max.
What if we just got rid of the entire campaign, like the original Destiny 2 campaign with Gaul?
Yeah, I don't play it. I mean, there's some strikes that cross through there, though, right? So
keep the strikes, but get rid of the.
How do you get rid of the campaign but keep the strikes? Because they probably share assets.
Not all of them, though. Like, not all the assets.
We switch out all the audio and use text bubbles that we have to read.
Yeah.
Hard pass. Dakota says, what games are you guys most excited to replay with enhanced graphics and frame rate?
Can I get... Yeah, I was going to say, Bloodborne? Hello? Bloodborne?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Imagine. They just enhanced it in the frames. Oh,
God, yes. I would love a stable 30 frames in Bloodborne.
A stable
if I got to buy a $500 console to get it.
You got to play it on PS4 Pro, man.
I did. It's not stable 30.
Yeah. 60.
I checked it out. Like, I booted it up because you had said that they updated it.
And
I went into Old Yarnum. I crossed that bridge, and it was rough.
And you have on your PS4 Pro to optimize for performance? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh, how about Final Fantasy VII Remix? What's the next Final Fantasy game going to be called?
Don't know. Oof. But I was going to say, by the way, Death Stranding would be a lot of fun to see because we know it's coming to PC anyway. And then God of War for sure. It's just too beautiful of a game to not
God of War,
do some kind of little, even a light remaster. You know, get it cooking, perfect 60, and maybe some higher res stuff.
That's a sequel I'm looking forward to too.
It's gonna be awesome. I've been playing, still grinding for armor sets in that game. It's so good. Feels so good.
Have you beat all the Valkyries yet?
Yeah, I'm on the very last of the last there, and
that's the tough one.
Before I do it, I'm like that. Yeah, I'm like I want it. I've been describing to people. They're like, "Well, why don't you just fight her?" I'm playing on hard mode, and she's like, she will beat you down so fast. Yeah. And I was like, that's what I want to do to her. So I'm not going in there until I've got every last thing. I want to tear her face off. I hope she's just dominates you.
You got to get those parry windows down.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like I played Sekiro and I put that on New Game Plus. I'm not used to long battles and just kind of getting out of the pattern. But I want to go in with as much raw force and just tear her face off if I can. So we'll see. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I play pretty aggressively because that's what Kratos is about, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting off track. That game is so cool.
That game is great. Gospel of Goose says, "When will Pope be back?" Pope's dead.
Pope.
He has traveled to. He tried to travel to Thailand, and the Rona got him.
Well, no, actually, he walked into a nest of murder hornets.
Yes.
Oh, my bad. I didn't realize.
The murder hornets.
He was running away from
Apparently
Big Rona.
They're all in Ohio. Weird.
Yeah, Pope is legitimately he's moving to Thailand, which is pretty
Yeah.
exciting. I can't wait
Moving
to
to
see how
Thailand.
it goes once he gets there.
And he's been like driving all over the place.
Yeah. He doesn't give a fuck about Rona. That's what's up.
He's driving all over the place.
He's like, I'm gonna move countries.
Yeah. We don't. He's not. It's not. He's not moving for a little while, right? A couple months or a month or two.
Like he's on the move.
Well, no, but he's in Ohio now or soon, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I don't even know where he's at in Ohio. I used to live there, by the way, in Cincinnati. I was there for a few years.
Nice.
The Murder Hornets,
But
man. I had to go. I couldn't
Man.
stand it any longer.
You know,
No, yeah, you want to stay away from them murder hornets.
Murder Hornets. Watts, have you ran into a murder hornet yet? Being in Washington,
I have not left my house, Tefty.
So
And
they
When's the last time
might,
they
they
might
might
be
be
not
waiting.
even now.
Yeah, there's like no
Do you think they're
reason.
waiting
When's
like
the last
propped up?
time?
To go actually outside,
Yeah.
not just drive the car because it might die if you don't drive it.
True.
So we have instituted a look out the window and hit the remote starter on the car.
Probably it would have been the last time I went to the vet, which was 2-3 weeks ago, I think.
Oh, okay.
But besides that, I haven't gone anywhere,
Wise. Let's keep that up for a while.
especially not with murder.
Especially with
Hey.
these murder hornets, man.
Murder
Yeah.
hornets. Are the murder hornets like? Are they localized? Like I
They're in
see them
Washington.
on the internet. But they're in Washington.
Although, you know, the biggest
specifically?
fear is that they're killing the bees. So maybe I should
Yeah.
go out to avenge the bees to
Yeah,
keep
yes.
them safe.
You got to
From
bring
all
you
the-
got to bring
Murder
those
hornets.
Japanese
Hornet
bees
hunting.
over so they can teach them the suffocation,
Yes, yes.
the heat up method.
So they can go to samurai school.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
The bees.
This
have
is
to
the
get
anime I
trained.
would watch.
This is real life. Have you seen that video?
This is real life.
Yeah,
This
I've
is
seen it.
amazing. Those bees have leveled up.
They have. They figured it out.
Next
Hugo
questions?
says, "Would you rather have an elbow made of marshmallow or a foot that transforms into a werefoot every full moon?"
Elbow made of
Definitely
marshmallow.
elbow. Definitely.
I'm
I'll take
going
the
barefoot.
werefoot. Yeah, that's once
Yeah,
a
I'm going
month.
werefoot.
I'm going
Yeah, it's
barefoot.
only one day
I
a
could
week or a
probably
month.
like run really fast. Maybe I could jump from
Wait,
higher
it's only
height.
You're
one
running
foot,
in a
though.
circle really fast.
Yeah, but
Wasn't
Jello
it only
elbow
one
every
foot?
day. You don't want
This
Jello elbow
seems
every
like I
day.
could do something with this
You were
barefoot,
fucking up
okay?
that cul-de-sac.
You could probably kill murder hornets with it.
Yeah,
With your werefoot.
I could. I could go on bee patrol. I could keep them safe.
Yeah, that's right. Drop kick them.
Yeah, I was just thinking, you what if you were like out late one night and you forgot about your werefoot and then you
Oh, who
bust those
cares?
shoes open? But they're nice shoes.
Who cares?
I'm sure you have a nice pair of kicks that you're like, dang it, werefoot.
I do not.
And you just
I have
blew them up because you're werefoot.
Crocs, the optimal werefoot.
And I was thinking a werefoot might be itchy. You
Why would
know?
it be
That's
itchy?
true, but only once. I mean, what are you gonna do with a
that
marshmallow
hair
elbow
suddenly-
every day?
Yeah.
If you eat it, you don't know it. You can't just eat it and it grows back. That's not part of the rules.
Your foot?
No, you're
Marshmallow,
Oh, your
Marshmallow
elbows.
elbow.
I was like, why are you trying to eat your foot?
Wait, is it
Why
marshmallow or
would you-
Jello? I thought you said Jello.
elbow.
I said
marshmallow.
Oh,
You need to
Marshmallow.
learn how to
I
listen.
heard.
Tefty.
Yeah, I'm not listening, man. I got murder
I
hornet
just
on
think
the
they'd
brain.
be really nice to lean on.
You're not
Because
giving
what-
anybody the people's elbow with marshmallow. That's not
It wouldn't
happening,
support you. It would just go smush
right?
Yeah.
your elbow.
I mean, it's not like it's only your elbow. You still have bones underneath it.
Do
You know what I mean?
It's
Well, you
I don't
can't
know.
have an
Bones
elbow
and
without the
marshmallows?
joints, the bones.
What is
That was
your
your
suddenly a
arm.
marshmallow elbow expert, Dr. Fran?
Listen, this is a magical scenario, and you're in a magical world. You have a werewolf foot. Of course, there's no
Werefoot.
bone in there. It's-
How far does the hair?
Does the
and
Stay
wear
Puft
go
Marshmallow
up your
Man have a
leg?
skeleton?
I think like 3 inches of hair.
You
right?
think
It's
it's
not
just
like
like an
long
ankle?
hair.
It's like a wear ankle as well, or is your ankle in the?
Wait a
clear?
minute. Is the hair on your
See what I'm
ankle
saying?
3 inches long?
I don't know how long wear hair is.
I don't either.
I'd say enough that you could comb and trim.
You have to get wear hair oil, like foot oil for it. You want to like
You want to
really
wash
like,
it regular,
tap- that's what
condition
you-
it.
I'm a Dapper Dan man myself.
you'd get it all like coiffed. Like, dude, that's a really nice wear foot. What oil
Thank you.
do you use?
Thank you. Head and shoulders mostly.
Okay.
Dreadnought says
Good
you're
one.
at a party and you need to go number 2 really bad. Would you rather A, take a dump at the guest bathroom and clogging the toilet is inevitable, or B, take a dump in the bushes in the backyard and take a risk of being caught?
Wow.
Definitely not.
Yeah, that's an easy number 1.
Yeah, easy number 1. Also, why is it
walk out of the
inevitable?
bathroom and be like, shitter's broke.
Yeah.
That's it.
Why is it inevitable that it's going to get clogged?
Boss, I think you're muted.
What are we talking about in terms of clogged? Are we talking like overflowing? Because
Yeah,
that
like,
is
can you fix it
No, no.
yourself?
It
I
only
assume they're
says
saying
clogged.
it's clogged. Like you can't fix it yourself. That's the deal.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
is there
I
just-
agree.
is
It's not
there-
overflowing.
There's like a, okay. Like-
So
If it was not overflowing, then that's fine. Whatever.
yeah,
You walk out of the
as
bathroom
long
and
as
be
it's
like,
not-
I don't know what happened to that last guy, but he clogged up the toilet.
yeah, exactly. That's what
I
I
think
would.
then
this
I
house
leave the
party has a
party.
septic issue. You better call that plumber.
Yeah, I would try to plot around it too. Like, hopefully you're there with a friend. It's a party too, and you're like, dude, like I need you to like, I don't know, keep people away.
Cool.
And then
Cause a
I'll go.
distraction while I leave the bathroom.
But no, I'll
Drug
clog it up.
everybody.
So you
Give
basically
them
try
the
to,
Kool-Aid.
yeah, I'd sneak out, or I'd go out the window even. You know, like go clog
Good
that
move.
up, but open the door and just go out the window. And
If you
hopefully I
leave out
don't.
the window, you can shit in the yard too.
And I was gonna say,
Double
hopefully I
trouble.
don't run into Briar, who's
get
out in
the
the
2 for
bushes, and he's like doing his thing.
Hanging on to it.
Did you dig a little cat hole to cover it up?
Not in the yard, man. I have it right
It's a
on the
party,
grass.
man.
I like to lay it out like present it like fine dining.
Yeah,
It's all
Yeah,
about
it's-
presentation.
honestly, it'd be really good for
Plating
the
it on the
bushes.
lawn. Yeah.
Is it?
Manure.
Little party manure. Yeah. Yeah, come on, everybody does it. It's not gonna hurt the bushes. I mean, hopefully not. Otherwise, you should see a doctor.
Yes.
you do that. They're like a whole like hedge of bushes just like dies.
Just-
like some rare like disease. They're like, I don't know what happened. I'd be
When I
worried. I'd be
first
like,
moved in with my wife, she was shocked at how much I peed outside.
I thought you were gonna pooped outside.
Pooped outside,
I
right?
thought he was gonna say it.
Gonna do
My
some
wife
yard
was
work.
shocked
Might take a dump.
how much I went outside to just poop in the yard.
No,
You know?
pooping you need toilet paper for and a nice place to sit. But peeing, man, that can happen anywhere.
Yeah. When I was like a kid growing up, but as an adult, I mean, just go inside and use the bathroom, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When I was like 7.
When I was a kid, when my wife met me, when I was 7,
Yeah, right.
my wife
Yeah,
was
you already
really
said your wife.
confused.
Wow. Wow.
T Scorpio.
Yeah, when I
says,
was 7 and pulled my pants down around my ankles to pee.
you guys
Brian's
don't
out
pee
there, that's how he
outside.
does
I
it.
pee outside all the time.
If I had a big yard and
I don't have
forest
opportunities
behind it,
right now.
maybe. I guess I would.
No?
I probably would. As long as it's not like a problem that the neighbors can see, because I just,
No, I got a fenced-in backyard.
I don't know, if they can't see.
How many acres?
Yeah. It's your house.
Not acres. It's like an acre, maybe.
Oh, an acre is pee worthy. You know?
Oh yeah, I mean they can't see me. Nobody's looking in.
It's
and,
such
like,
it's
I mean, they might be.
I got like two teenagers and a wife with 2 bathrooms. Like sometimes that shit is just full and I gotta pee.
Yeah. Oh, again,
the
an
fuck,
acre
man?
funny
is
how much it's
Grass right there.
an acre is a lot of yard. That's a lot.
yeah.
So yeah, I could see
It's
that.
funny because it's such a it's such a guy thing, right? Well, it's like I assume that this is not as common.
It's
Just 'cause of the
probably be a lot
difficulty?
more effort to go
Yeah.
pee outside. Yeah.
Yeah, like not that like women occasionally don't like just
You
pee in
can,
the woods. Like you,
you
you
know.
go hiking, you do it, but like
Right.
it's just not convenient, and it's
It's not super
you
convenient.
know like if a raccoon comes running at you too, it takes more time to like get out of there.
Murder hornet while you're peeing. Oh god.
Yeah.
No.
a raccoon holding a murder hornet coming right
Oh
at the
god, it's
butthole.
like a weapon.
It's like
Get that werefoot ready.
That's something a raccoon would do.
Boom, boom.
I've seen raccoons around my house, and they always look like they're up to no good. They're plotting on
so
something.
mischievous.
definitely.
I love them.
Them and the possums.
All right, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Rapid fire. The last 3 questions. Here we
Okay,
go.
let's do
T
it.
Scorpio says, "Which end of the banana do you open?"
The top.
The top.
Yeah, I try to pinch the tip,
Pinch the tip.
Pinch the
and
tip.
not the stem. Pinch the tip, but
Elusive
sometimes-
pineapple.
Fran pinches the tip. Next question.
Elusive pineapple says, "What was your favorite First memorial actor or actress you had a crush on in childhood.
Memorial?
Memorial? What?
First memorable.
First memorial.
First
Had a crush
memorial
on
That
actress.
person you had a crush on.
An
What is
in-memoriam
that?
actress?
First crush.
Oh dear.
First actor or actress
Wait.
crush.
Does Knuckles count from Sonic?
Sure.
What?
Yes.
Definitely.
Perfect.
Wow.
Yes.
I think I had a crush on April O'Neil from the cartoon and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay. That's okay. I had Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years.
Yep.
And
Oh,
actually, that
yeah.
crush goes on.
It's funny because, like, I don't know what, I'm sure there were ones before, but for whatever reason, Catherine Zeta-Jones and Selma Hayek, like, I just remember, I was like, oh yeah, that's my type of lady. Yeah.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Jelly, last question of the night, says, pick your superpower, but the other podcast member picks your weakness. Your super weakness.
This is rapid fire.
Okay,
Yeah.
my superpower, 100% controlling time. I want to be able to sleep for 12 hours, but also wake up at a good time.
Your super weakness is the inability to read a clock.
So I can control time, but I'm still always late. They're like, you can literally stop and start time whenever you want. Why are you
But
still
you
late?
never
I
know what
can't.
time it is.
Don't know what
All
time it
right.
is.
My superpower is I can fly anywhere really fast without any adverse effects to the body from going so quick.
But your
I like you covering all the caveats.
your super weakness is not being able to read a map.
Directionally challenged.
Constantly
Interesting.
lost.
Interesting. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna keep it simple and be like, I can eat whatever I want as much as I want. It's always like the perfectly optimized, macro nutrition that I need for my body. Right? It's like you have the perfect nutrition to just be in shape and work out, but you can eat whatever you want.
But you have an overactive
that's
bladder.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought Briar was gonna be like, but you can't taste anything. Frick. What were you gonna say?
That would be a good one.
He's such a jerk. Did you have one?
No.
We'll go with that.
My
That would
superpower
suck.
is that I can play the guitar.
Yeah, you could do that anyway.
No, I
Do
can't. It
that
turns
right
out
now.
I cannot do that.
Dude, Brian, should we do we should do a
Much
live
trying.
lesson stream? It's like me and you,
I am
Briar
so
needs
bad.
to
I've
learn.
tried so
And
hard
Taft,
over the years.
right?
Maybe you just had the wrong teacher, man.
That's what
Maybe I'm
saying,
tone
Taft.
deaf. Maybe my actual super weakness is that I'm
Tone
tone
deaf
deaf.
is an excuse. That's an excuse.
Yeah, you don't need tone. You're not writing the song. You're just playing it.
Yeah, you're not singing it. What would be your weakness if you played guitar?
Playing guitar.
That you'd always have a giant erection every time you strummed a chord.
That's double superpowers.
Be like, all right, you have to go play this song in front of a crowd.
Dude, he'd have
Like,
great
crap.
He'd have great percussion.
I
though,
don't
if you
even
think
need a
about
strap for my guitar.
Be like, boom, 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 boom. It
You're like,
worked
this
great.
is
That's my
Actually.
erection.
This is a strange open mic, guys, huh? Wow.
Oh man, nailed it, Taft.
Is that the episode?
I was just gonna
Questions?
go like he
That's
always
what-
breaks strings, like his guitar,
He
the
always
strings
breaks
break. That's
strings.
like weird.
Oh, that's
Every time. Bring.
Oh, I like the super weakness by Bakuhatsu. Super weakness, toddler size hands.
Is what?
Toddler
But I
size
can play the
hands.
guitar.
Oh.
no
You
matter
can
what
play
hand.
you can play the guitar, but you got tiny baby hands.
Then I don't know if you could play the guitar. You'd have maybe you have a special guitar.
That
Maybe you can
cancel
play
it
with
out.
this kind.
Have
You'd
to
have to have
like
a special.
a ukulele.
Okay.
Awesome. All right.
Can
Well,
only play Nickelback.
Oh, that's perfect.
that's hilarious. That's the episode, right? Episode 187, the murder episode, Murder Hornet episode.
The murder hornet
Yes.
erection.
Is that what we're really calling
Erection
it?
episode.
Murder Hornet?
erection.
Death by Murder Hornet
Murder Hornet
erection.
erection.
Yeah, murder, hornet, erection, Warefoot, Pope's dead.
That's locked in.
Locked and loaded. Fran, where can people find you?
right here on Twitch, streaming late night. I'll be streaming 60 days in a row tonight. You can find me on later, but just at FM3_. Thanks everybody who's stopped by in the past.
What?
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
Look at this photograph.
That's all he can play.
No.
I'm Briar. You can find me. Just look up Briar Rabbit.
Awesome. I am Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter and catch my streams twitch.tv/Tefty Teft. I'm trying to figure out what I want to play next. It's either going to be Neo 2 or Animal Crossing.
Tefty, we need the Animal Crossing stream. The world needs it.
Teft, I want to see your
world
music room.
right now is
I can build a music
quarantined
room?
and needs.
Dude, they have like an audio rack and all this, dude.
Whoa, they got...
You haven't seen this?
No.
They got a reel-to-reel?
Yeah, they got reel-to-reel in there?
They do. They have Gibsons. They have reel-to-reel audio. They have server. They have a full-on server rack you can get. You can build like your own awesome music room. It's
I've been on the fence, and now that you said I could build a music room, I'm very curious. Might have to do that.
Dope.
We'll see.
I'll send you a photo.
We need it.
Awesome. Well,
You only got to put 180 hours in to get the amp.
that's it.
People will give you.
You
so much
actually-
stuff now at this point.
You actually earn it with in-game currency. That's the episode. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Appreciate all the support. Shout out to our Twitch subs and our Patreon members for supporting the show and making it happen. And shout out to everyone watching live and on YouTube and on listening on Spotify and all the podcast places out there. Really appreciate it. You guys stay safe out there, and we'll see you next week. See you for side quests, which is going to be interesting because of all the Xbox stuff with the lack of gameplay. All that gameplay that doesn't have any gameplay. Be talking about that on Mondays, 1 p.m. Pacific time on Mondays. And see you next week again for another episode of DCP. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Boy.
Guardians out.